Hello, everybody. My name is Travis, and this is the Daily Travesty. And we are going to be doing some more Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. I've played this set quite a bit. I have a couple videos up on the YouTubes, but those are from sort of earlier on in the set, now that it's been out for 5 days or whatever. I've got quite a few drafts under my belt and getting a decent sense of what's going on in this format. It's been pretty fun. Going into the dungeon has been super good. It's I don't know, makes me want to play D&D. Playing Magic these days makes me want to play more D&D because I don't know, just going into the dungeon is super evocative in that. I found I've had the most success with the red black decks, the treasure decks. I think mostly because having treasures around is nice. Like you can double spell a lot more often. It kind of fixes you, like you don't get mana screwed as much if you can play your spells. So I've had a bit of success with the red black decks. Been having fun with those. I haven't had a good dice rolling deck. Like the red blue one has never come together for me. Played a lot of green actually, and I imagine it's because some people are avoiding green, probably for good reason. I think the best card in the set is one of the best commons is the red 2 mana deal 3 to anything and instant speed. That card just seems so good, and you should definitely take it if you get a chance. We're going to jump into a draft here. I'm actually going to do a traditional draft rather than premier, just because I enjoy sideboarding and want to change up the pace a little bit here. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump in and see what we can do in the Forgotten Realms. Hope everyone's day is going well. Let me know how you're doing in the chat. I'm also playing around with the stream settings. I am doing the lower latency again. So hopefully that doesn't mess up the video quality too much. You're gonna have to let me know if the video quality seems off. The benefits of going lower latency is that I get to see your guys' chat messages a little bit quicker, and we can have more of a conversation rather than just, me talking and seeing your comments way too late, because I definitely need all the help I can get. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into a traditional AFR draft and see what we end up with. All right, and here we go. So first things first, I have Vecna. People have played this against me a whole bunch. I don't think this card is great. 2 mana, draw a card, lose 2 life, and then very rarely are you using the ability to good effect, so I'm going to stay away with that. Feywild Trickster. The dream is that you get a deck with a ton of die rolling. Goes really probably the best in the red-blue deck. This is a card I would definitely be interested in playing. Haven't had the red-blue come together, like I was saying, but I think this card is worth speculating on, especially if you can get these pixie guides and stuff. I haven't had this Kalain Reclusive Painter, but obviously going to be a great card in the black decks, black-red decks. Titch Willow, good in blue-green. I think what I'm going to take from this pack is the single-colored card with the most upside, which is going to be Feywild Trickster. If we end up in blue-red with die rolling, this card's going to be great. I could see one of these cards actually being better than this, but I'm going to start with the single-colored card. Even though this is really a blue-red dual card, I don't think you play this in blue without red very often. So maybe that was a reason to take a different one, but kind of happy with what we're seeing here. Here's the Dragon's Fire. This card is just so good in this format. There isn't a lot of assertive removal in the deck, in the set. There's a lot of deal 2 at sorcery speed, like the black card that gives -2/-2 in adventures. The red improvised weaponry that gives you a treasure token and deals 2 damage. But something that deals 3 damage at instant speed for 2 mana is just insane. So really happy to see this here. Priest of Ancient Lore has been great. 3-drop, draw a card, gain life, awesome. The fly card, I've played this a couple times, and it's actually been decent. I think you have to be really careful. Anytime you play an enchantment, you always have to be careful, because you could play it, they can kill the creature, and they got 2 of your cards for the price of 1. But I actually think that card's been okay. I've definitely taken the Dragon's Fire here. This card's just so good. And could potentially pair really well with our Feywild Trickster. Wow, okay, well there's some definite stuff to look at here. Hive of the Eye Tyrant and the entire cycle of lands that become creatures are just awesome. Like, you play it as one of your lands, and then if you have nothing else to do, you get an extra creature. So these cards are super high picks. Intrepid Outlander has been really good as well. 2 mana, 2/3 reach, awesome. And then sometimes you get to venture extra times. Great. Priest is good. Charm Sleep is an okay removal spell in blue. Yeah, both of these black commons are fine. Hoarding Ogre's been good. Plundering Barbarian's been decent as well. I think the highest power level cards are these first 4 up top. And oh man, I might just take the land here. We have no idea what we're going to end up in. And having a land that becomes a creature is just so good. I don't know if that's the right pick. I think all these 4 cards are fine. Maybe we're just supposed to take Charm Sleep there, but I'm going to take the highest upside and see where we end up. Okay, well, there's a couple things here. Check for Traps is like a totally fine black card. Maybe we take that to follow up Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Charm Sleep, again, just decent removal in blue. This Scion of Stygia has actually been decent as well. Swarming Goblins is good, and if we wanted to do like the red-blue die rolling thing, this gives you a bunch of bodies. Delver's Torch I've been impressed with. I think this is better than the Mace. Getting +1/+1 and venturing is better than just a random +2/+2. It's really hard to say what's going to be best here. I think I'm just going to take the Check for Traps. It's the cheapest card. Can give you a lot of advantage if you can see your opponent's hand. We did just take a black card as well. And although there are like some decent blue cards here, I'm going to take the Check for Traps. And get relatively rewarded with the Kalain Reclusive Painter here. This is the black-red multicolored card. You get a treasure token right away off of this, and then you can use treasures to make your creatures bigger. That's going to be really good. Also nice to see some other black cards in the pack. Eye of the Beholder has actually been pretty good for me. I found that they're just absolute must-kill cards in this set, like the big dragons and other cards. And this kills everything, which is nice. Hired Hexblade actually hasn't been awful in black-red. I think some of the time you just don't play this on turn 2. If you really have to, you do. But usually you hold it, use a treasure to pay it, and then you draw an extra card, which is nice. So I'm going to take the black-red-gold card here. Too bad we didn't take the first one, but hey, who knows where we'll end up when we start these drafts, right? And now I think I kind of want to move in on black-red. Even though there's like Air Cult Elemental's decent, it's kind of expensive. Inspiring Bard is really good. This is definitely a 4-drop you want in any white-green deck, and even some other ones. It's a really nice combo with the Roper, the 3-mana 4/5 that only untaps if you gain life. Turn 3 Roper, turn 4 attack, then play Bard and untap it. Here I'm going to take Plundering Barbarian. It gets us a treasure most of the time, or it destroys one of their equipments. So I think that's a decent 3-drop. I don't think we're going to do the blue-red thing. So Brazen Dwarf not on the list right now. And here we have our pick. Ooh, another Inspiring Bard. So a little bit of green coming around. That's just something to make a note of. I would rather try for the black-red deck right now. Get out of here, Feywild Trickster. Sorry. There are some decent black cards here. This is a nice finishing card. If you have a bunch of creatures, you give everything Menace. Clattering Skeletons is a decent 4-drop. It hits pretty hard. I think I'll probably just take the cheaper card, the Valor Singer. Start with cheaper cards, and then we can always pick up a 6-drop or 4-drop later. But I'm going to take the cheaper card right here. And now, well, I think both of these cards are okay. Unexpected Windfall can be nice if you're trying to splash something crazy. I had a deck where I was splashing for Orcus, the like red-black 5/3 flying trample for 4 mana that can also be a board wipe. And I played this. I think Fate's Reversal is fine if you have some really good things to go get back, but I'm just going to take the red card. We do seem to be like a little bit more in red right now. Oh, wow, and this actually wheeled. Awesome. Well, I'm super happy to see that. Super happy to see the Kalane come back and happy to pick it up here. Also, I realized that my camera feed might have just died. Apologize for that. My cat sat on the cord and now you can't see me, but that's okay. You can still hear me. And we're going to keep drafting here and I'll figure that out later. Here, I don't think there's anything that we're really interested in. We really, yeah, I mean, I think black-red is probably our best place to end up, especially with the double gold cards for those colors. Oh, she's drawing or she's painting a displacer piece. That's cool. So we'll just take the red card. I don't think we're going to play Dueling Rapier. You never know. But just to signal that red is being cut, I don't want my the other people at the table to be taking red cards. Here, there's nothing really for us. We'll take this random green card. Here we'll take a 2-drop, an Army Veteran. This is something that could make like the Dueling Rapier playable. I don't think Armory Veteran's that great, but if you have some equipment, it can be okay. Sometimes you just need a 2-drop. Ooh, both of these are nice. I'm just going to take the removal spell. I think Horde Robber's fine, but we already have some decent 2-drops, and you do need a removal. I don't know if we're going to play Kick the Door, but I haven't seen anyone play it yet, but it could be good. Ooh, Magic Missile's nice. Yeah. This spell's good. I actually had a discussion the other day with a friend of mine whether I would rather have Magic Missile or Dragon's Fire. And I think the answer is Dragon's Fire. Dragon's Fire costs 2 mana, so costs 1 less. It deals the same amount of damage. And I did find that the dream of killing 3 creatures that all have 1 toughness doesn't actually come up all that often. So a lot of the time I'm using Magic Missile to deal 3 damage to a creature at sorcery speed for 3 mana, and that makes Dragon's Fire just way better. So although this card is great, we're definitely taking it here. I actually think Dragon's Fire is better than this. I'd also be happy to get the Swarming Goblins back. It just puts enough creatures in play. There's another expensive removal spell. Sepulchre Ghoul is actually good. In these decks, you can get some of the threaten effects, the like steal their creature, attack with it, and then sacrifice it to your ghoul can be really good. Here we're definitely taking Hobgoblin Captain. This 2-drop is awesome. It's a 3/1 for 2, sure, whatever. But then if you have any other creatures with 3 power in play, like maybe this Valor Singer, this thing can't really be blocked. Like a 3/1 first strike on attacks, really good. So we're going to take that here. Happy to get a nice 2-drop there. And there's nothing really that we're missing out on. Trickster's Talisman has been really good for me in blue, but obviously we're not in blue. And yeah, we'll just take the nice 2-drop. All right, and here we have our pick of a couple spells. Here's that Sepulchre Ghoul, which is good in the red-black deck, and I don't mind picking a few of these up to be able to play the gain control of an opponent's creature thing. Ray of Enfeeblement is actually really good, though. They're like, despite what I just said about Magic Missile and not living the dream of killing 3 X1s, Ray of Enfeeblement is actually good. Against a white deck, it's just awesome. And against other decks, it's a combat trick that wins you a combat or kills an X1 card. Like I think this card is definitely worth playing. 1 mana is just such a good cost for this. If that wasn't here, I would consider taking this Ghoul or even a Swarming Goblins. I wouldn't mind picking up. But we're going to take the cheap removal spell here. And here, this is the card I was talking about, Price of Loyalty. I'm not going to take it yet. I would rather take a couple ways to sacrifice things before I take Price of Loyalty. I think here we might just take the aggressive 3-drop. We have a lot of decent 2-mana cards right now. And if we can go 2-drop, 3-drop and be aggressive, that's great. I think Horde Robber's fine, but the number of times that you play this on turn 2 and your opponent plays a 2/2 and you just like kind of can't attack is enough that I'm a little bit down on that card. Although I would totally play it. I think we'll just take the 3-mana 3/3 haste. And things are drying up a bit. Wizard's class has been really good for me. you just draw 2 cards from it, like a divination, and then if you ever get it to the end, it can be really good. Cleric class, really nice if you have repeated sources of life gain. We'll take Thieves' Tools. This comes down, it gets us a treasure, and it can make something unblockable, which can win you a late game. There are some combos with like Vorpal Sword or other things, even the 1/3 that makes treasures, but we'll just take the equipment here. And that's an equipment I would rather play than like Dueling Rapier, I think, in these decks. What do we have for removal? We have Magic Missile, Eye of the Beholder, Dragon's Fire, Ray of Enfeeblement. I think that makes Eyes of the Beholder good enough over another Valor Singer. You really need to be able to kill your opponent's big stuff in this format. Otherwise, you can just get ran over by some crazy bomb rare. So I don't know if I'm going to take the 3rd one here. Here's another 2-drop. Here's the Price of Loyalty, which we know there's more coming around. Ooh, Priest is still here. Not for us, but for someone else. I think because we're kind of low on creatures in general, I'm just going to take this 2-drop now. Not that I wouldn't necessarily play another Eyes, and I do want to play these Price of Loyalties, but only if I get the Sepulchre Ghouls. Here we'll take a Plundering Barbarian. Makes treasure, can help us cast Eyes of the Beholder sooner, or it can destroy an artifact. That's totally fine. There are some decks like these that I play Deadly Dispute in, and this works well with the Price of Loyalty as well. You attack with their creature, and then you sacrifice it and get some value out of it, but I'll just take the creature here that generates treasure. And because we have the double Kalain, we do want like incidental ways to make treasures in this deck. Okay, well, here's Eyes of the Beholder number 3. I don't want that many expensive removal spells, but sometimes you just need them. And I guess we'll just take the Deadly Dispute. If we end up picking up some Price of Loyalties, Deadly Dispute's going to be nice. And here's a 6-drop that we could play. I mean, it's a 6-mana 6/6. It's kind of exactly what it says it is. So, okay, another 2-drop. We really need a bomb for this deck. We don't have any of the crazy rares, and I found in this format you need crazy rares to win games usually. Well, here's a Grim Bounty. That's going to be hard to pass up. I also like Chaos Channeler. It draws you extra cards. And you see a pair of goblins is great. Make a couple 1/1s. Or pump up your team for a win. But I think we'll just take the good removal spell. 4 mana, kill anything, make a treasure token. Seems good to me. Be nice to get this Chaos Channeler back on the wheel, but I don't expect us to. Ooh, Drider is good. Precipitous Drop is a nice 3 mana. Give something -2/2. Even if the creature doesn't die, you can nerf it a bit. Our deck is definitely not doing the dungeoning thing, so we're not too worried about that. Here, we're just going to take Drider. If you hit with this, you get a 2/1. That's really good. We also don't have any creatures in the sort of 4 to 5 slot, so that's going to be good. I wouldn't mind taking Precipitous Drop. Even these Vampire Spawns could be nice. You gain a bit of life, drain someone out, but we're going to take the good creature here. We are going to have to clean our deck up at some point. I wouldn't mind playing 1 Baleful Beholder. I don't mind these Clattering Skeletons, but I think we'll take the Hoarding Ogre. This does generate treasures, and you can use Thieves' Tools on it, because it only has 3 power. So if they have bigger creatures in play, you can just put Thieves' Tools on this, attack with it, and gain a whole bunch of treasures. So we'll put that in the deck. There's probably stuff here we're going to take out. So I'm just going to start to clean it up so that we can get down to our 23 cards for our deck. Ooh, another Kalain. And nothing really else to pick over it. So our plan is going to be to make treasures and then just have our creatures be better than the opponents. If we can get a +1/+1 counter reliably on most of our creatures that come into play, then our creatures are just going to be slightly better. They're going to cost the same amount of mana as our opponent's creatures, but they're going to be slightly better. And that's usually enough to have a good advantage. We probably just want creatures to fill out the curve. I don't love Valor Singer. It's not a great creature on blocks, but we have enough 2-drops now, and I do want something to play off of these Kalanes to make bigger. So, okay, well, we're just going to take the aggressive 2-drop. I think our deck is going to be about attacking with creatures, aggressive 2-drops. I wouldn't mind like a Manticore or something, but Hobgoblin Captain is just super good. We'll take it here. Other Thieves' Tools, not really interested in that. Don't need the Spiked Pit Trap. It's not as good as Eyes of the Beholder. I'll take You Come to a Null Camp. This is traditional. It is best of 3 draft. And sometimes having access to these kind of utility cards can be good. You never know what your opponent's going to play with, and sometimes you want to sideboard things. Feign Death has been okay. It's better when you have cards that have Enter the Battlefield text, like when this creature enters the battlefield, do something. And we don't have any of the super powerful ones that do that, so I think I'll just take Improvised Weaponry. Although this isn't like the most powerful card, sometimes you just got to deal 2 damage to something, get a treasure. And now I think I'll take Baleful Beholder. It's a direct upgrade to the Earth Cult Elemental. And our deck is all about creatures. If we give all our creatures Menace, they're going to have a really tough time blocking us. Not necessarily interested in any of these. I don't really care about giving my creatures haste. I don't think I want another Unexpected Windfall, but I'm not going to play anything else there. So we do technically have an equipment already. Thieves' Tools doesn't give power, but it does make something unblockable. Like we could even make a Hobgoblin Captain unblockable and hit for 3 every turn. Just gonna start to clean up the deck with stuff that I am pretty confident I don't want. I'm probably not playing Deadly Dispute if I don't have... Well, I guess you draw 2 and create a treasure. Is that better than Unexpected Windfall? Discard a card, draw 2, create 2 treasure. Our deck isn't actually that expensive. We didn't get any crazy expensive rares or any dragons or anything like that. Let's make sure we get our nice land in. So I could see the extra kind of pseudo ramp off of these treasures not being great. Like maybe Deadly Dispute is just better. We're going to have treasures a lot of the time off of these painters or the Plundering Barbarian. And the nice thing about a cheaper draw spell like this is that you can draw cards and maybe double spell off of it, as opposed to this, which basically occupies your whole turn. So anyway, the way that I build my decks is I take all the lands out to start, just so they're not in the way. And then I go through and I look at cards that I don't expect to like be the best, like just things that are kind of mediocre. And then I come back and I build up the deck after that. I think all these cards are kind of okay. I don't know if Thieves' Tools is that great. I think Thieves' Tools is better if you really need the treasure right away. But we have 3 of these Kalanes, which are going to make treasures for us right away anyway. So that's a little bit better than Thieves' Tools. There is a combo with Thieves' Tools, well, soft combo with Hoarding Ogre, where you just make a bunch of treasures off of the Thieves' Tools because it makes it unblockable. It can make any of these creatures unblockable as well. I don't know if that's good enough. Right now we're sitting at 13 creatures, 9 non-creature spells, and I do like what we have here. I think these eyes are going to be fine. So we probably want to add a creature for card number 23. It is also possible that we're supposed to play less than 17 lands because we're going to have so many treasures running around. It's possible that we don't need 17 lands, that we're just going to have other ways to generate mana value. So we could think about adding extra cards. I think because our deck wants to like play a bunch of creatures and get counters on them, having more 2-drops is probably worth it. We're not playing Armory Veteran because we don't currently have any equipment in our deck. Although, like, even Dueling Rapier could be okay on a Horde Robber or something. Can make this attack as like a 5/1 first strike. That's pretty good. Yeah, we do have some kind of junky cards. Like, these cards are good. They make treasures, but they're only 2/2s when they come into play. This is a 2/3. So maybe we do want like a dueling rapier just to give the barbarians something to do later in the game. I could definitely see playing a horde robber in this deck just to get our creature count up. We do want lots of creatures. I think all these creatures are good. Maybe I just play another horde robber instead of a 17th land. I don't think we're going to have issues getting mana. Like, almost all of our cards generate treasures. And I don't want to get flooded out with this kind of deck. So maybe just another 2-drop. And play 16 lands. Could be the thing. We have a pretty even mix of black and red cards in our deck. I'm more likely to want to play a red card earlier. Like, we have some double red spells. So I'm going to put one more... well, actually, I guess it's 8 and 8. Sorry. I was just saying, if I had to play a different number of... swamps and mountains, I would play more mountains, but we're just going to be 8 and 8 in this deck. And this is just to start with. Remember, we are playing best of 3, and we have a lot of options for sideboarding. If we need to add more creatures, we can. If we need more ways to pump up our creatures because they have really big defenders, we could play Dueling Rapier. If the games are going long and getting into a board stall, we could add Thieves' Tools to give us a way to chip in damage. I don't know if we need You Come to the Knoll Camp ever, but might be useful. Deadly Dispute could be okay. If the opponent has a lot of removal spells, we could play Deadly Dispute, because it lets us draw cards when they try and kill our thing. It would be nice to have a card draw spell in our deck, actually. Now that I'm looking at it. Like maybe a Deadly Dispute. I don't know what we would take out for it, though. Like maybe a Valor Singer or something. I'm just going to run with this, and we'll see... We'll see what happens. We can always tune our deck later. As always, I'm going to take a picture of it. I'm going to go into Microsoft Paint and have my picture up while I'm playing. And that's just helpful because if you need to see what your outs are during the game, or if you're trying to draw something specific to win the game, it can help influence your play style. So that's the deck, and let's go ahead and see what we can do with it. This deck looks pretty good. We have really decent removal spells and some good synergies. I think our creatures are going to be pretty big a lot of the time. And yeah, hoping to do well with this one. Got my pad of paper ready. And here we go. All right, Cat, I need to move you and plug my camera back in. All right, and here we have the option to play first or draw first. Our deck is going to play first, at least to start with. This is the one thing about best of 3 is they don't smooth the hands out. This one-lander, if we draw exactly a mountain, would be okay. If this was a mountain, I would consider keeping it because we have a 2-drop to play, but we're going to have to mulligan this. Hey, Maverick, how's your day going? This is good. I'm going to get rid of one of the Kalanes. We already have one. They're legendary. And that gives us lots of stuff to do. I think probably what we'll do is play Kalane and then play the Horde Robber with the treasure token. So it's a 2/3 that can give us more treasure tokens to buff up our future creatures. So Kalane first. Yeah, sorry about the camera stuff there. Like I said, my cat bumped my webcam cable and it's super finicky and it just like shut the whole thing down. So, well, this is not bad. A 2/3 is going to do a good job of stopping us, but there's not much we can do about that. So We will pay with treasure. And no attacks. Actually, I wonder if there's a way I can adjust that, if I can turn off this. Just so you don't have to stare at my, like, frozen face. Alright, well, we came up against the deck that's perfect against us. It's all 2/3s. That is going to be an issue for our deck, so that's something I'm writing down, that they have a bunch of 2/3s. We're going to have to find a way. I would love to play this as a 2/4 as well, but we can't, so we'll just play it out. Not going to play my cards. And they can't really attack either. Like, we have decent blocks here, so... Alright, well that's good to note that they can destroy enchantments. I don't think we have any crazy enchantments in our deck, but that is something worth realizing. And yeah, we are just sitting... They have the max toughness squad. Everything has 3 toughness. That's going to make these horde robbers worse. Even with a counter, they can't attack into it. I think the Kalanes are still worth playing, but we're going to have to see... Ooh, Froggymoth's decent. Froggymoth. Which is a 5 mana haste. We're going to have to watch out for that card. It's a nice target for Eye of the Beholder. Opponent's tapped out, so I assume we're supposed to triple block. They can only kill one of our creatures, so we're going to trade one of these for 4/4. Seems totally fine to me. I mean, they can get rid of Kalane, but we don't have any treasure tokens. They could get rid of the 2/4, but then we keep our other cards. Yeah, that seems totally fine. Oh, man. That's too bad, because then... this was a turn that we could have started attacking with Horde Robber, but I think it's worth getting the Froggymoth off the field. The thing is very scary. Okay, well, Hill Giant Herd Gorger's good. 7/6, gain 3 life. I'm just writing these cards down while we're playing. Oh man, we really need another swamp, don't we? We could take a couple hits off a Herd Gorger, but like... We need a treasure or we need a swamp to get rid of it. Pack Tactics, go in the dungeon. It's kind of nice. I assume they have some kind of combat trick here, but we still need to do our best. I don't really care about them gaining life. I would rather try and get this creature off the field. So we'll block. And I mean, if they have a combat trick, that's fine. If they give this +2/+0 in first strike, there's nothing we can really do about it, so we'll just block like this. And they... Yeah, we ate their thing. That's nice. Okay, well, Drider's not bad here. We might have to chump block this Hill Giant, although the opponent passed with 6 mana up, which is a little weird. If they had a trick, they would have played it, so I don't really know what's going on there. I'm going to play Drider and pass. There is, like, we could attack with Valor Singer, and if they double block it, we can kill Sylvan Shepherd, but it's kind of weird that they didn't play anything, and I'd rather just have the extra blockers in case they play something crazy. So I'm not going to go too crazy on that. 7/6. We have to block it. Like, well, I assume they would have played. I don't know. I thought they would have played a trick if they had it on the Outlander. And we can double block and kill this, right? If they give it +2/+2, it has 8 defense. So we'd have to block with everything to not die. If we block with everything, they can kill 2 things maximum. That's kind of okay, right? They kill Drider Valor Singer, and we're left with these. This is a 4/4. That's not great. Maybe we just chump block here. This is going to be a 4/4. Yeah, maybe we're just supposed to chump block and wait for another mana source. We don't have treasures to use for Kalane's ability anyway. Yeah, see, this is the exact situation I was talking about during the draft. Like, this is a 3-mana deal 3, nothing else. I could attack with Drider. But it does block the Bullet good this turn. And they're just like, they're just going to double block. Like, getting the 2/1 would be nice. Maybe we're supposed to use Magic Missile to kill Sylvan Shepherd and then attack with Drider. And they can either chump, take it, or block here. We can still have a chump blocker. Yeah. Huh. I'm not sure what's correct here. This can be a 5, whatever. Sure. We either get rid of something or we get a 2/1. Yeah, they can trade off. That's fine. Their Bullet's just going to get bigger as we're chump blocking. So I don't mind trading off there. And now we're going to chump block and hope to draw a black source to get rid of this Herd Gorger, which is... Oh, no, that's not the land we wanted. No tax. So far, we've just seen a lot of high toughness creatures from our opponent. This time, I'm just going to take it. We can't really win. I don't know why they're not playing anything. Maybe they think we have a sweeper or something. All right, well, Barbarian gets us another chump blocker, gets us a treasure token. And we have to double chump. Next turn we can kill one of these and then we lose? Yeah, this doesn't seem great. Not even sure if there's anything we can draw that can bring us back into this, but a little bit sad we didn't get another swamp there. 5, 6, 7, and it would cost 6, 7, 8 for us to maybe stay alive. So I'll just pass the turn. I'm not going to concede. It's possible my opponent plays another card and gives us more information. Like you meet in a tavern. +2/+2 mass pump. That is the one thing about best of 3 is sometimes it's better just to like keep playing and then your opponent shows you more cards from their deck. Well, I'm really happy we have these cards. Like, the opponent has 2 of these 6-drops. Eyes of the Beholder is going to be awesome. What we really need to do is draw another swamp. Any card that doesn't attack into a 3-power creature is kind of bad, so these Horde Robbers seem bad. The Kalanes, I think, are still good enough because they pump our other cards up to be 3-power. We didn't really see any removal spells from them. I think the Armory Veteran is going to be better than one of the Horde Robbers because with a counter, it's a 3/3, and that attacks better. You can also attack into their 1/3s better. Maybe you come to a Knoll Camp is okay, just to get through. Like if we've beaten them down and they play a 7/6, this helps us like attack through. I don't want to get rid of all my 2-drops, but Kalane is good at giving us tokens and stuff, so I don't want to go too low here. Yeah, maybe this coming to a Knoll Camp is nice, just because of how many big defensive creatures they have. I mean, these do block their cards pretty well, too. It blocks the 2/3s well in that. Yeah, maybe Armory Veteran just is that bad. I don't think it's that good of a card. Raven Enfeeblement seems pretty bad against them, actually. Actually, maybe the Thieves' Tools is better than you come to a Knoll Camp. That can help us attack through. That's better. And then we can put it on a Horde Robber to gain extra treasures. Yeah, that's better. So we added the Thieves' Tools to get through their very defensive creatures. And we took out the -4/-1 spell because they don't have any cards that have 1 toughness. And they aren't playing white. So that's some of the value of playing best of 3. We do want to play first. And now we have all the lands in removal, no creatures, but I am going to keep this. I have enough lands to cast every spell in my deck. Their deck wasn't particularly fast. Oh, perfect. We drew the exact 2-drop we would want. Nice aggressive 2-drop here. And it can attack into their 2/3. That's excellent. Which we're definitely going to do here. Yeah, they can trade off. That's fine. And now we should be good on mana, right? Like, if they play something really good, we could play Grim Bounty. This is not a card I'm worried about. Well, Kalain is nice. So let's attack with the 2/2. They might just block and sacrifice it to get a basic forest. Which is totally fine. This isn't even a... So we took the -4/-1 Ray of Enfeeblement out, but this isn't even a card you want to use that on because they'll just sack it in response. So let's play Kalain. We'll get a treasure token. And then now all we want to do is draw creatures and start pumping them up with Kalain. Boule. It's totally fine. And we have enough removal spells to be aggressive here. Kind of put them on the back foot. So I don't mind playing Grim Bounty. At some point I do want to draw creature spell, but for now we'll just deal 3 to them, and maybe they'll run out of creatures at some point. Although their deck looked like mostly creatures, so I don't expect them to run out soon. Improvise weaponry, hey. Yeah, it's probably worth saving. I don't really want to attack into this. Just gonna pass the turn here. If my opponent attacks, I'll double block. Ooh, Planar Ally is nice. I'm gonna write that down. I think I want to kill this anyway, because next turn it's going to be able to attack, so we'll use Eyes of the Beholder. Jeez, all the lands. Well, I'm glad we're playing 16 mana. This is the situation I was expecting to happen, where we're kind of always good because we have treasure tokens and stuff, so... Well, this is a nice target for improvised weaponry. But it sucks not being able to attack. They just have so much toughness in their deck. So Thieves' Tools is going to be really good for us. I'll just save my treasure tokens. I don't need to use them right now. Yeah, okay. Well, this is fine, right? Like, take this out. I'm going to wait on the Magic Missile. I don't need to deal 3 damage this turn. I'll wait and see if they play something else next turn. Another Herd Gorger. Wow, okay. Back to back to back Herd Gorgers. And us just drawing a million lands is a little bit sad. But we did say during deck build... Oh my goodness. We did say during deck building that our deck lacks big finishing cards. We do struggle on ways to like close out games. Yeah, Bugbear, not exactly what I'm after. So we can use Magic Missile to kill Panther and Knoll Hunter, but then they have a 3/3 double strike that's going to get bigger because of this cat. So I think I have to use Magic Missile to kill Dritz. Play this as a 4/4. That's actually pretty good. So let's do that. And is this per token? For each mana from a treasure spent to cast them. Yeah, let's make it 6/6. That's pretty sweet. That's actually awesome. Oh my gosh, all the Herd Gorgers. At some point, the opponent's going to run out of stuff to play, right? They have to. Thanks, Maverick. I appreciate the commentary. This blocks the Null Hunter nicely. Here's the Froggy Moth. And everything coming in. Well, I think we have to do our best to set ourselves up for the potential to come back, but yeah, we're done, right? Well, that's kind of a sad first round, but our opponent's deck is very focused on creatures and matched up really well against our deck in terms of just creature strength, right? We couldn't get through all of their 3 toughness things with our tiny creatures, which is something we expected. So maybe we should have brought in the dueling rapier. That might have been something that helped us. If we could make like our 1/3s into 3/3s and attack a little bit better. Something to think about for the round after this, but I think the deck seems good. Might also be nice to have a way to draw cards in this deck. There's a lot of times where we had all the mana in the world, but we couldn't play anything because we didn't have anything to play. So it's possible like Deadly Dispute is worth playing. I just don't know what we take out for it. I think these Kalain cards are quite good. Do we need 3 of them? Hey, Patty Laddie, this is what we got. So we're doing traditional best of 3. And the deck seems okay. We're kind of lacking on big finishers. I guess Baleful Beholder's fine. A little bit lacking on big finishers. We have 3 of these gold Kalain cards, which I think are going to be good. Like, that one turn where we had the 6/6 Bugbear was great. We need some more power in this deck, though. Ways to push through damage. Like, does that make this Earth Cult Elemental just good enough? Would I rather have one of those and one less Eye of the Beholder? Maybe. Just to have something else that can be a threat. I could see that being good. Maybe we should have brought the Dueling Rapier in last game. To pump up our creatures a little bit. Yeah. Maybe we'll try this with the Earth Cult Elemental. See if that does a little bit better in round number 2. Hope everyone's having a good day. And yeah, we're going to play first. Oh, okay. Well, this seems good. We have mana, a 2-drop, a weak removal spell, a strong removal spell, and a big card. If this isn't a good game, I'm not saying we're going to win, but if this isn't a good game, then our deck is trash. So let's see how we do here against Happy Theory. So turn 1 Kalain. If we drew a... does our deck even have any 4-drop creatures? I don't know if it does. Wow, that's aggressive. And you know what? I don't even mind necessarily blocking this thing. I don't think I'm going to, but we do have another one in reserve if they kill this one. We could actually use Treasure and this Kalane ability to make this a 2/3. Huh, that's kind of interesting. If we really wanted a 2... Oh my goodness. Well, here we are. I'm just gonna turbo out this Earth Cult Elemental. I'm gonna use the improvised weaponry to kill something. One, two, three, four, 5. And if we draw a land, we can play this as a 7/7. Would I rather kill Brazen Dwarf or Goblin Javelineer? This I can block. This I can't really block. We could actually make a 3/4 Kalane this turn. But then we'd only have 4 mana left. I'll just pass. I'm going to save the treasures for better creatures than these reclusive painters. And hey, if we draw land next turn, we can play Earth Cult Elemental as an 8/8. Okay, so die rolling deck from the opponent. They're a little bit stuck on mana. Sure. I mean, if they go land spell, that's totally fine. Let's just play this as a 3/3. I want to save the treasures for the Earth Cult Elemental. There is some thought to leaving both creatures back to double block this, but like they aren't really attacking and doing anything, and they might even give their creature menace anyway, so we're not super worried about it. Okay, 4/3. I assume my opponent's not mono red. I assume they're stuck on mana, but they might be mono red dice rolling. Here I'm going to attack with the Valor Singer and see if they want to block. It gets their bigger thing off, so they're less likely to double block Earth Cult Elemental. And we hope to roll high. If we have to sack something, we'll sack Kalane, but no, opponent's going to sack something. And they sack a land. That's kind of okay for us. I do assume that they're 2 colors, and like having another mountain doesn't really help them all that much, but imagine if this card rolled a die every time it attacked. That'd be kind of insane, right? But now we have a pretty aggressive attack here. Okay, an array just in case we get into troubles. Can smash in. Opponent chumps instead of taking 8. That's probably fair. And we'll just end the turn there. I mean, they have the ability, like anything they play has haste. So if they play something scary. Oh, unexpected. Well, maybe they are just mono red. Orb of Dragonkind, hey? I don't think that card's very good. I don't know where you play that card, but maybe they'd have a bunch of dragons or something. My turn. Now because we're on 5 mana and... Okay, well, the opponent just concedes there. Seems fine. What did we see? We saw these 4/3s Javelineers, which match up pretty bad against the 1/3s we have. So does this. Not worried about Orb. That's fine. This is fine. So watch out for these 4/3s, but I don't think there's actually anything we can do to like make ourselves better against that. I am glad we added the extra threat, the Earth Cult Elemental. I think that is worth having. We didn't see anything insanely big that would make me want to add back the other Eyes of the Beholder. So I think I'm actually okay with how this deck is sitting right now. The only thing that like might make sense is Rapier, again, if we want to be able to attack a little bit better. That's probably better than Ray of Enfeeblement. I don't want to play Ray of Enfeeblement just to kill their like 1/1 hasty goblin dude, so maybe Rapier's a bit better in this deck against them. And we'll see how this game goes. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Patty Laddie. Rapier's gonna be awesome. And then maybe we should just main deck it. I do think having the Ray of Enfeeblement to start with is a better card. And then if your opponent doesn't have a lot of X1 creatures or isn't playing white, you can take it out. But all right, opponent trying to decide what to do with their life. So I hope everyone else's day is going well. Again, like my camera's down. Not that you guys really need to stare at my face, but my cat sat on the USB cable for the webcam, which screwed it up somehow. So we are without a camera, but that's okay. Opponent about to time out here, which I'm sorry, that doesn't make for great streaming. I mean, I'm happy to take the win, but I would rather play the games. All right, well, we got lands and spells we can play, including this Bugbear on 3. And oh man, here's the Rapier. She looks like she's really enjoying stabbing whoever it is she's about to stab. Okay, well, it looks like our opponent is disconnected or is just having a bad day or something. So I'm just going to read the flavor text on my cards while I'm waiting. Okay, well, on to game the next. I'm just going to double check and make sure that one change we made is still here. Yeah, the Earth Cult Elemental is still in the deck. I think that was a good change. Just to have another threat. Something to ramp into. It's totally fine to ramp with treasure tokens, but into your like Eyes of the Beholder -11/-11. But if you have 6 mana on turn 4 and they play like a 3/3, do you really want to use your big removal spell on it? Probably not. This looks good. We can't play Magic Missile yet, but we're going to keep it. We have lands. We have a creature to play on 3. If we draw any land, we get Grim Bounty. And that treasure token can help us cast Magic Missile and stuff. So I think this is going to be great. And depending on what the opponent does here, we might just play Plundering Barbarian, get the treasure, and then use Magic Missile to kill both these creatures. Like, does it feel like we accomplished anything if we do that? Maybe. If I draw a mountain, I'll probably actually play the Drider next turn. But I do want to use this treasure for the Magic Missile if I can, so there's no reason to trade here. And now I probably want to kill the Dire Wolf. Basilisk is annoying. I guess we can use the Grim Bounty on the Dire Wolf. And they have to pay the mana if they want this to be good, so yeah. I'll just use Magic Missile here. Well, actually, I don't really care about taking 2 damage every turn. Probably better just to play more creatures, right? And now we can actually double block Direwolf. Yeah, this is fine. I don't want to get too overzealous here. I'd rather develop the board a little bit more. And then another Ghast. Well, if they play another X1, we can 3-for-1 them. Sure. Oh, before blocks. Yeah, I mean, they can kill either of these. It doesn't matter to me. And now we're just gonna... Ooh, that comes into play tapped. Ooh. Wrecked by the extra text here. But it can be a 3/3... Beholder with Menace later on, which is kind of nice. Because I do want to play this, I don't want to play Drider off the treasure token, and I can play Drider next turn. So now's the turn I'll use Magic Missile. And I'll kill the untapped one. I'll kill Basilisk. And then we'll attack for 2 damage. I assume they make a treasure token here. Like, there's no way they're shrinking this. They should just make a treasure. Yeah, that's right, Patty Laddie. Some days you wish they were that easy, especially when you like paid gems and your deck isn't that good. Oh wow. I think that's a mistake. I would say that they're probably better off getting a treasure there to help ramp out their good stuff rather than save 1 point of life. Like maybe they could have played a 6-drop this turn if they had gotten the treasure. So just something to think about. Let's go ahead and attack. And then play Drider. And yeah, we'll definitely be smashing in with the Drider here. Yeah, I don't need to worry about any of this, so... Oh! That's nice. They actually stop before attacks now, so you can activate your Hive Tyrant Eye thing. We don't need 5 mana for anything, so why don't we just activate this and attack with it? And I actually don't even mind attacking with the Plundering Barbarian, because if they would rather kill this with Shambling Ghast, we get a 2/1 off a Drider. That's kind of nice. Now they're making the treasure. Yeah, I think they probably should have made the treasure before. I mean, maybe there's nothing in their hand to play, but there's always a chance you draw something, right? If they play a big creature, we have Grim Bounty. Null Hunter I'm not too concerned about. So I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to combat, and I'll make the 3/3 menace and attack with everything. Again, if they want to trade off, it's totally fine. It's weird. There's a couple cards that remove cards from graveyards. I don't know how big of a deal that is in this set. There's certainly stuff that can get cards out of your graveyard, but it's not that big of a deal, I think. The Tarask! No! Why didn't they make the treasure before? If you have Tarask in your deck, I think you just always make treasures, right? That's insane. I mean, they're gonna lose, but that's insane. This is the second time that I've seen the Tarask. Let's just make sure we get this. This is the second time I've seen the Tarask, and both times I've been able to beat it because my opponent has just like spent too much time trying to get to 9 mana, and then they just lose the next turn. But I mean, if you can play the Tarask early, that card's insane, right? So I'm gonna write that down for this green-black deck. Tarask. And having our Eyes of the Beholder that can kill that doesn't even matter because it has Ward 10. Like, when are we ever going to be doing that? So that's actually a reason maybe not to kill these Shambling Ghasts in the future. So our opponent with some 2 power cards, with the Basilisk. First Strike's going to be good there. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of happy with what we got. We definitely don't want them getting to 9 mana ever. But I think for the most part, we're actually okay with this. This is a 4/4. This can gain counters. Maybe because they have Basilisk, Ray of Enfeeblement's going to be just good, right? So that is probably worth keeping in the deck. If they go to like Death Touch something, we can Ray it. It's kind of mediocre against these though. Maybe we don't want as many things with 2 defense, but I do like getting the treasure tokens off of those cards, so anything with 1 defense is worse, because if the Shambling Ghast dies for a different reason, they can kill the captains, but these cards are just very good with their first striking. Actually, that's probably a reason why Hobgoblin Captain is worse, and we're on the defense this game, so I am actually going to switch that out. Actually, no, I don't want the Menace card. I am going to switch that out, and maybe we just play Thieves' Tools or something. I don't know. I just don't want them to kill our 3/1s if they like sacrifice Shambling Ghast or something. That would feel pretty bad. So this also feels bad. 1 mana. 3 mana, but Improvised Weaponry can get us a treasure token. And we can play Magic Missile. Yeah, we'll keep this, and we'll get rid of the Eyes of the Beholder. And who knows, maybe they'll play 3 Shambling Ghasts, and we'll get the triple kill that I said during the draft rarely happens, and it doesn't seem to be even that good. Okay, well, these are the same 2 creatures we killed with Magic Missile last time. I'm kind of okay with that. I don't really want to ramp them up. Oh, here's our black mana. That's nice. I don't really want to ramp them up with Shambling Ghast, but like them playing Tarask and not being super low on life is super dangerous, right? No, I'm not gonna block. No mana, no mana, no mana. If they don't play a 3rd land, I assume we're not supposed to kill this. Sure, I'll discard a mountain. Maybe we're not supposed to kill this. Maybe we're just supposed to kill the Basilisk with improvised weaponry. And save Magic Missile for later? Because I don't want to give them their 3rd mana. Yeah, I think that's probably okay. We're not doing anything else with improvised weaponry. And we're not doing anything with improvised weaponry we can't do with Magic Missile. So this also gets us an extra treasure. So if we draw a creature, it can have 2 1/1 counters because of Kalain. It's pretty good. Okay, Vampire Spawn 2/3. That's good to know about. Just because it does have big toughness. And our creatures are kind of weak. Well, next turn we can start activating Hive of the Eye Tyrant. I don't know if it's worth using Magic Missile here. I don't really care about this card that much. I would rather save it now that they have extra mana as well. And we can always block with this if they attack. So let's just pass the turn. If they attack with Vampire Spawn, I'll activate Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Yeah, that's a better card to use Magic Missile on. So I'm glad we didn't attack there. And now we'll activate this. And block. And now, yeah, I don't want to get too low on life because of Tarask. Although the opponent is stuck on mana. This card is going to be a problem, so I will use the Magic Missile here to take these cards out. While they're tapped out. I assume they make a treasure, and then, I mean, we're kind of not doing anything, so we're just going to attack with this Hive of the Eye Tyrant every turn. Okay, well, this time they made the treasure. There's a Knoll Hunter. Ooh, Reaper's Talisman is really good. Yeah, Reaper's Talisman is very good. That's going to make it very hard to win. If they start attacking for 2 and they gain 2 life every turn and drain us for, or deal 2 to us. Okay. Well, they used Herald of Hadar instead. Would be nice to draw a creature at some point here. I think now we're just going to leave our mana up. If they attack with Knoll Hunter, well, they shouldn't. Well, I guess it gives it Death Touch. I do want to kill their creatures. I don't want to take 2 damage from this every turn. I don't have any way to kill... Oh, I guess I have those barbarian dudes that can kill artifacts. But I think our task is just going to be to try and keep them off of their creatures. So I'll wait till they go to attacks, and then we'll kill this with Eyes of the Beholder. But yeah, we're going to try and keep them off their creatures, because them gaining 2 life and us losing 2 life every turn is bad news. Especially if we have nothing else in play. They can hit us for 2 here, but that's okay. And they decide not to. Alright, well, we don't need more mana necessarily. I'm going to keep playing my lands because it lets us do the Hive Tyrant thing more frequently. Like, we can actually do Hive Tyrant right now. I don't want to do that, though, because it'll just trade for Grim Wanderer. But we did say we wanted to keep them off of their creatures. So if we activate Hive of the Eye Tyrant, they block. We kill Grim Wanderer, trade. They equip this, attack us with the 2/2. We take 4. We probably attack with Hoarding Ogre back. if we do nothing, they equip something. Yeah, it's probably better to be defensive here. Our life total's just too low. I would rather block than attack right now. They should have put it on the Null Hunter, I think. Because then they could attack with both creatures. Oh, they're not attacking. Okay. Well, no, actually, that's good, right? We can attack with Hoarding Ogre, shrink their thing down. Leave this back on blocks. They're just gonna chump block here, hey? That's interesting. So we lose 2 life. They get Death Touch. It's just out of range for this, where we can't give it 0 power for our Hive Tyrant, but I can't take 2 damage every turn, so we're gonna have to throw away our creature land, which is a bit sad. But if they don't do anything else, we're gonna gain a bunch of treasures, and then the next creature we play is gonna be positively massive. And now we get to attack sort of unopposed, which is kind of nice. And the next thing they attack with Death Touch, we can use Ray on. So this is good. They don't have Tarask mana. They need 2 more lands to get to Tarask. So assuming nothing crazy happens, I like the spot we're in. And you know what? Eventually, we're going to draw another creature. We're going to stop drawing lands in our 16-land deck. And it's going to be totally fine. That really shows you the power of having a land that's a creature, though. It just, like, gives you more options. And take these really... I think we took this second. Yeah, sure. And I didn't want either of those cards anyway. So the... Ooh, nice. Yeah, the mill there actually helped, because now we can play this as a 5/5, destroy Reaper's Talisman, and then we're going to be doing okay. And any creature we play with Kalain out is just massive, right? Yeah, I'm a fan of Kalain, actually. In a dedicated treasure deck, she seems really good. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that nonsense, and we have 2 lethal threats. Opponent with a Hexblade. And here we go. Block, removal spell, take 1. Nope. All right, well, that was good. Yeah, happy to get a couple wins there. And opponent's deck had some surprises in it. I was not expecting the Talisman. The Tarask! They attacked us with the Tarask, and we were able to take it out, which is pretty good. So, let's... Oh, that's it! Oh, that's right. It screwed me up, because when you play Premier, you can just keep going. So... speaking of just keep going, should we draft again? Ooh, this Wild Mage is nice. What should we do? Should we draft again? Should we sealed? Should we just stop and never play Magic ever again? What do you guys think? This card's really bad. Yeah, what do you folks think? Should we play again? Are people interested in seeing some more draft? Watching probably do another traditional draft, I think. Just enjoying the sideboarding. Did end up getting into Diamond. I know it didn't look like we were on path to do that with how the first couple of drafts went, but I ended up having some pretty good decks, and we ended up in Diamond. Would be nice to keep playing. Actually, okay, so Christopher, you want to see some sealed? Yeah. Let's go ahead and do some sealed then. Christopher, how's your day going? Sealed sounds good, Patty Laddie. Okay, let's do some sealed. I'm going to do best of 3 sealed again. I just enjoy sideboarding more. Our last sealed pool was actually, I thought it was pretty good. Like, we didn't have a ton of removal spells, but we had some good stuff. And we had that one first, like, amazing game, and then ended up going, 0-2 in matches, which wasn't great. But let's let's crack some packs and see what we can do in sealed here. I love sealed. It's so good. All right, please, 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 please. Okay, well, Hive of the Eye Tyrant. We just used that card. Really nice. Ooh, we got 2 really. Oh my gosh, this deck looks gross already. Look at this. Look at these pools. This card is kind of meh. Although I guess we already have 2 legendary creatures for it, but this looks great. Varus Silvery Moon Ranger is awesome. 3 mana, 3/3, reach, ward 1. Every creature you play lets you venture. That's awesome. This card's insane. And it's kind of tough to kill because of the ward. Werewolf Pack Leader, awesome, right? 2 mana, 3/3, already great if you have double green. And you get to draw cards with Pack Tactics. This can almost trigger Pack Tactics on its own because it can be a 5/3. So if you attack with one other thing, like maybe a Forsworn Paladin, you get the card. This card's really good as well. It's kind of tough to evaluate, I think, but one mana menace that just makes you treasures for a couple turns, and then later on you can give anything Death Touch. It's pretty sweet, and you can do it on itself, so it can attack as a menace creature, and if they double block it, you give it Death Touch and kill both their things. This is insane. We definitely want to play black and green if we can, and the Forsworn Paladin actually makes treasures for us to play Orcus. This card is crazy. I got to play with this card in one of my drafts. It wasn't a black-red deck. We were just making treasure tokens and then splashing the black. This card's great though. Like, it comes into play, it kills everything in play, and then it just attacks as a 5/3 flying trample. Yeah, that's right, Patty Laddie. Getting wet and wild in here, watching the Daily Travesty. I don't know if this card is any good. Having a off-color land, or like a colorless land in our heavy green splashing red deck doesn't seem great, but anyway, we might not even play these. We definitely want to play black green if we can, but let's go ahead and take a look and see what we got in our pool. So first thing I do with sealed after looking at the rares, of course, is looking for ways to splash. Things like Temple of the Dragon Queen can be good. If we had an Evolving Wilds, that would be good. I see we don't have any here. Other things you might look at are there green cards that help you splash? No, by the looks of it. Ooh, and our green looks kind of weak, actually. That's too bad. So not much for splashing. Maybe we splash off of treasure tokens, though. That is one of the things about this set, is you can play treasure tokens. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and pick out all the cards from each color that I would be excited to play. All the removal spells, all your really bomb cards, anything that's awesome. Dawnbringer Cleric is good. Steadfast Paladin is good, but I'm not going to pull those down. I'll pull like Minimus Containment down. Even these Hear Something on Watches, although they aren't that great, are removal spells, so they kind of qualify if we're in a defensive deck. I don't think we're going to be in white. Like, look at this. We don't really have anything except maybe Minimus Containment, so I might actually just take everything else out here. In blue, eccentric, eccentric apprentice, not eccentric. I think that would just be 1C. That card's good. These Windseers are decent. Triple Air Cult Elemental is interesting. It's just, but I think it's just too expensive without the support behind it. Contact Other Plane is fine. All right, Hive Tyrant. This is what we want. We want lots of good black cards, right? Shambling Gas is playable. Yuan-Ti Fangblade would be fine. Oh, Grim Bounty. Nice. We already think we want to be in black, so I'm pulling down a few more cards than I normally would. Clattering Skeletons is fine. Ooh, Black Dragon. Black Dragon's pretty good in the way that it's like really good. Wow, double Magic Missile. That's pretty good as well. Plundering Barbarian's fine too. Like there's probably cards that people are playing more artifacts than normal. And it could create a treasure token. Hoarding Ogre's nice because of the treasure tokens. So I might pull that down as well. Alright, well, black was definitely one of the better colors, but this is pretty thin. Like, I'm not seeing a ton of stuff that we're super excited to play. Definitely play these Basilisks, obviously the pack leader. These Direwolf Prowlers are fine as well. Again, I don't think they're super crazy, but we already thought we wanted to be in black-green, so I'm pulling down a couple more of those cards. Ooh, double Owlbear is nice. So our green is pretty good. I could definitely see us being in green. I don't think Druid class is that exciting. This is a blue-red card, and we're definitely not going to be blue-red. Well, here's a black-red card. Interesting. And of course, Orcus, which we're definitely playing, if we can. Kalane was good. I don't know how much support we have in red, though. Like, we have this Bugbear, we have this dude. Goblins are fine. Sellsword is fine. This is just a random 2-drop. So this card is okay. If we end up playing black-red, that could be okay. Spike Pit Trap, if we really need extra removal spells, could be okay. Dungeon Map is probably not something we're that interested in. So this is kind of a weak pool compared to the last one, but it looks like we're not playing blue. I could see playing this Minimus Containment if we're like in the black-red deck and we make a bunch of treasures. I could see playing that, but I'm just gonna take it out for now. Green is definitely our best. Is there a world where we play green-red and splash black for Orcus? Maybe. Although our black is good too, right? And our red wasn't that good. It was just like double Magic Missile is pretty good. And the Hoarding Ogre making treasures is kind of nice. But let's see what the black-green deck looks like, just to start with. And see if we actually have enough playables in this deck. Like, our green is the best. We're definitely going to be playing green. Just the quality of our creatures makes me know that we're going to be playing green. This is kind of a later game card. Black Dragon on 7 can go in that pile. Grim Bounty, Fangblade, Ghast, Paladin. Yeah, I think the fact that we have Paladin makes me want to play black more because it can make the treasures for Orcus. And it could make the treasures for the Minimus Containment. So maybe that is something we consider splashing. What else makes treasures? Shambling Gas makes treasures. Fangblade can go into the dungeon, which can make a treasure on the mine tunnels. Grim Bounty makes treasures. Yeah, I have a feeling we're going to be black-green. I don't know if this is like an insane black-green deck. Our rares are obviously great. I think we're probably missing some of the like mid-rangey cards. We don't have any 4-drops right now, but double Owlbear is pretty good. Yeah, we might splash the Minimus Containment. Hired Hexblade is a 2-drop that can get extra value off of treasures, so that's probably worth putting in the deck. I don't think Demigorgon's Clutches is a bad idea, especially in sealed, because people tend to play their most powerful cards in sealed. So if your opponent plays out all their lands and stuff and they have 2 cards left, they could be really, really powerful cards or splash cards. And if you can get them out of their hand, that's kind of nice. So these cards aren't awful. This card's fine. Gain a bit of life. What's going on with our mana values here? Clattering Skeletons is fine as a 4-drop. It's a decent sized body. Manticore is probably okay as well. Especially if we have to like chump block with like a Shambling Ghast and then get them with the Manticore. I don't think Herald of Padar is that interesting to me. We already have 2 really good 5-drops. I guess if the game goes really long, you can slowly deal damage to your opponent, but Zombie Ogre is decent as well. 3/5 that you sometimes do the adventure thing. Baleful Beholder is good. Kind of sad to give up double Magic Missile, but the rest of our red didn't really support it. And our black and green cards are way and above better than anything else. Nice to have access to You Find a Cursed Idol as a sideboard card. Remember, this is best of 3. It's sealed. So if our opponent has some crazy artifact or enchantment, we might bring this in. Kalane only good in black-red, I imagine. How many legendaries do we have? 1? 2? 2. All right. So Dungeon Descent, not going to be worth it. We're probably playing Temple of the Dragon Queen to help us splash. I assume we splash mostly off of treasure, but this could be okay. Oh, actually, these create treasure. Oh, man, that's awesome. We're going to play this as a splash color thing. But most of the time I expect we'll probably just play this as a green or a black mana to get started. But definitely put it in the deck. This is going in our deck. I'm just going to take it out for now because I need to get to 23 cards, and I don't want to include the lands in my count. So that actually looks pretty solid. This deck actually seems pretty solid to me. We have a couple cuts to make even. And this was all of the black and green cards that we were excited to play. We have 21 creatures. Wow. So we don't have a ton of non-creature spells. That is the problem with this deck. We have 1 removal spell, maybe 2 if we splash Minimus Containment. That's really rough, hey? I guess the Underdark Basilisks are kind of like removal spells. But you really need removal in sealed, because your opponents are going to be playing all their crazy cards. So maybe that makes Demigorgon's Clutches even better, because we're going to have to make them discard their good stuff. Manticore is kind of a pseudo removal spell, and because we don't have other removal, we probably have to play this. It's also a flyer that can attack. Notice that we're really weak to flying. We've got Manticore, Black Dragon, Varus. And that's kind of it that deals with flyers. Basilisk is also kind of a removal spell-ish. Like, it just blocks well. So we have a couple cuts to make. I'm seeing, like, Hired Hexblade is probably one of the weaker cards. I do enjoy using treasures on this, and we do have a good number of ways to make treasures. But it is just a 2-mana 2/2. Maybe Vampire Spawn isn't that good. This might be a card that we sideboard in if they have a lot of 2-power creatures and they can't get through a 2/3. Bangblade's going to be good as a blocker. Again, we don't have a ton of removal, so we kind of have to get extra value out of creatures like this. Prowler is good. Like, you could be a 4/4 a lot of the time. It attacks as a 4/4 or blocks. You threaten a block as a 4/4. Clattering Skeletons is fine. It's big enough, and we don't have like a ton of 4-drops. Gorger's nice and big. Orcus. So I don't want to get rid of anything that makes treasures. And we do need to cut one more card, probably a creature, because we want to keep these non-creature spells. The worst cards are Hexblade. We want to keep these treasures. These are good. This is good because of Death Touch. Maybe a Prowler. Maybe one Prowler. Maybe the Clattering Skeletons. I want to keep the Manticore just because of flyers. And again, we don't have a ton of removal. Owlbears are good. Maybe Baleful Beholder isn't that great. It is nice if you have all creatures and you play this on turn 6 and they can't block you because everything has Menace. So that might be a reason to keep this in the deck as a win condition, like a pseudo win condition. And we only have to get rid of one of these cards. So I think I'm going to keep the 6-drop. I think having like a beefy 4-mana card is probably worth it. It can also help us venture to scry for lands or to maybe get the treasure token off of the mines. We have a good number of 2-drops. Although drawing a card later in the game, like if you have nothing to do and then you draw this on turn 7 and play it with a treasure and you get to draw an extra card, could be really good. So I'm thinking we probably take out one of the wolves, play this 2-drop, and that's going to be the deck. We're leaving out zombie ogres, which we can switch in if those are going to be good against our opponent. If they have a lot of 4-power creatures, we might switch those in and take out something else. I don't know what, like this skeletons or something. We could also add the vampire spawn if they have an aggressive start or a lot of 2-power cards. Like maybe that's better than a prowler some amount of the time. In green we have Cursed Idol, which we can sideboard in against good artifacts. So yeah, this seems good. What would we do for lands? I do want to see what the black-red deck looks like, but I think this is the deck we're going to be playing. So, oh, we actually have to put a plains. Do we have to? This is the thing about treasures, is you don't actually have to put basics in your deck. Like, we don't necessarily need a mountain or a plains. We don't actually have any cards that search for those. So that actually allows our mana to be pretty good because we can play more swamps and forests and then just cast our splash cards off treasures. That's actually really nice. So I'm not actually going to put a mountain or a plains in this deck. There is some time you do, and there is a green card that finds basic lands. So then you would, but here we don't actually have to. We have Temple of the Dragon Queen to be whatever color we want, and then we'll just fill out the deck with everything else. We're mostly black, although our really good cards here are mostly green, and we have these double greens. So I think I want 9 green sources for lands. Nine green sources. Well, that's 8. 9. And then we'll do 8 black sources. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7 black sources plus Temple of the Dragon Queen. Like I said, I expect to play this Temple as a black or green mana most of the time. But then there's going to be some games where we draw this late and we use it for our splash color. So this seems pretty good to me. It is very creature heavy. And we don't have a ton of removal. So if our opponent has crazy, crazy cards in their deck, we're going to have a tough time getting them off the board. But we also have a fairly deep sideboard. So I'm not going to be too worried about it. I'm just going to take a picture of this, save it, so I know what's in my deck. And then we're going to build the black-red deck just to see if it maybe looks a little bit better. It does have the double magic missile, and our deck is short on removal. I expect this black-green deck is going to be our thing, but let's go ahead and build the black-red deck and see how that looks. There might be some matchups where we want to switch into black-red because we need the extra removal or something. Still a possible splash card, especially if we play black-red. Like, black-red has a lot of treasure makers, right? So Minimus Containment is probably something we would splash in black-red. So again, let's add our potential black-red cards in, and then take stuff out as we need to. We're not playing any equipment, so Armory Veteran isn't that good. Bugbear's fine. Double Magic Missile's good. Plundering Barbarian makes a treasure. That's going to be fine as well. Black-red splash green. What do we splash green for, Patty Laddie? All of our good green cards cost double green. Like, I don't really want to splash for these cards and play double green. Oh, Kalane is a nice 2-drop. Oh, of course, Orcus. Orky boy. And we want to play him and kill a bunch of stuff, so he's probably more like a 6-drop. There's going to be enough treasures here to play Minimus Containment, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's enough treasures there. So this is also 23. Oh, I guess this Jaded Sellsword's decent. So we have a couple things we could switch in and out. Armory Veteran could be a 2-drop. You don't necessarily have to have 2s. Like, you would rather have 2-drops than not, but if your opponent's deck isn't super fast, it might be okay. Yeah, Patty, it's just, yeah, it would be nice, but all the good cards we have in green are double green. Okay, well, this is 24, and we do have some other options to go in and out. We don't even necessarily have to play these Clutches cards if we have the double Magic Missile. And we still have 18 creatures. Like, this could actually be a viable deck as well. It doesn't have the same power level. Although I guess we still have Orcus, we still have Black Dragon, we still have Grim Bounty, we still have Forsworn Paladin. We give up on... what? We give up on Varus, Werewolf Pack Leader. We give up on the Owl Bears, the Herd Gorger. Yeah, I mean, maybe Black-Red is just better. Our green-black deck had really good creature quality, but was lacking in removal. Here we get to keep the black removal spells. We lose out on the Underdark Basilisks, which is whatever. But we add magic missiles? Huh. Maybe this deck is actually better. Problem is we didn't get really any of the really good... Well, I guess we get Kalane, which can make all of our other creatures better, and we use the treasure tokens better in this deck. That might be a reason to play this deck. Like, we do have some powerful cards. And we're more likely to be able to cast Orcus because he's in our 2 colors. We still get the black land that turns into something. I am actually thinking this deck's better. We splash white for Minimus Containment. Yeah. Despite it feeling bad to give up on Silvery Moon Ranger and Werewolf Pack Leader. Well, these cards are just super good, right? Our curve's a bit higher in this deck. We don't affect the board early as well. The green deck had better 2-drops. Maybe Magic Missile is the swinging point. Like if our opponent plays an aggressive deck with a lot of 1 toughness cards, maybe we're supposed to switch into this deck. But if they play a lot of big creatures, the Underdark Basilisks are like better blockers and stuff. Because we don't have that many like direct kill spells. So if the opponent has really, really good big creatures that we need to block, Basilisk is better. If they have a whole bunch of small, cheap creatures, Magic Missile might be better. Both decks have a good number of creatures. They have the same top end. This one just has these Magic Missiles. There's no red-green deck, right? I don't think we have enough creatures. I think we need the black creatures to have a red-green deck. Or sorry, to have a good deck. Okay, well let's build up this black-red deck and see what it looks like for deck building purposes. This is 23 here. Is there anything that's like kind of bad in here that we would want to take out? I could see taking out the clutches. Although I think that card is good. Double Zombie Ogre is a little bit obnoxious, I think. Could see taking those out. All these other cards seem fine. Again, Vampire Spawn is probably one of the weaker cards. I'll go over here. Yeah. Yeah, and actually we get Kalain. Kalain is really good, as evidenced before. Like, if you have extra treasures, your Bugbear is a 6/6. We're not going to play Armory Veteran to start with, but if we really need a 2-mana card, we could do that. We don't have any ways to sacrifice the opponent's cards, otherwise we could play Price of Loyalty. Yeah. Okay, well, that's a bit interesting to me. I mean, these Prosperous Innkeepers are nice, though. Gain a little bit of life, but they are just 1/1s. Pack Leader is awesome. Varus is awesome. Owlbear is awesome. Owlbear's better than Zombie Ogre, for sure. Kind of tough to say. I think this is the 23 cards I would play. I'm not even going to play Temple of the Dragon Queen here. We're going to play Minimus Containment off of treasures, and because we don't need the double splash, I don't think it's worth playing that card. We will play this one, though. And our deck here is mostly black, but we do have the double red costs. So we'll put more black. Well, yeah, we'll put more black mana in this deck than red. Try black, green, red, like just the straight up 3-color. It's not a bad idea. The one thing that's kind of a sticking point for us is that our best cards are double costed. Like, these are by far our best red cards, double red for Magic Missile. Owlbears, Varus, Pack Leaders are all double green. And then for black, we have like Grim Bounty, Forsworn Paladin, which you want to play early for single black. Like, it's really tough, and we don't have the fixing. If we played 3 colors, we wouldn't have the fixing. The only thing that lets us play like these splashes pretty easy is the chance of having treasures. But we can try it. Let's put that deck together. So I think this is a good start for the black-red deck. I don't know. The creatures are way worse, but having the Magic Missile is kind of nice. It's hard to say. I think this deck is actually worse than the green one. Just like like we're playing like worse creatures. So I would say that this is probably not. Now I'm saying that this isn't the deck we want. Unless the magic missiles are going to be really good. But let's see what 3 colors looks like. I would be more tempted to play 3 colors if we got the green search for 2 land card. That's what the chests are for. We're not supposed to play this card, right? It's just a treasure token that costs 2 mana. It just seems awful to me. Like, you pay 2 mana for a treasure token. We get treasure tokens for free. Okay, let's take everything out and put only the best red, green, and black cards into our deck and see if it looks even serviceable. And Minimus Containment. I mean, this is just going to hit everything. So what are our best black, green, red cards? Forsworn Paladin. Grim Bounty. Black Dragon. Double Magic Missile. Basilisk, Pack Leader. I'm going to play these Prosperous Innkeepers because they give us treasures to fix our mana early. Varus, Owlbears, Herd Gorger. So it looks like we're leaning more into green. Orcus. Yeah, see, this is just looking like a red splash, and I don't want a double splash reds. Like, this to me already is just looking like a weak red splash. This is basically just our black-green deck with Magic Missile in it. Which, like, is not technically unplayable if we really needed them because of the amount of treasures we get. But you don't want to have to spend 2 treasures to play Magic Missile once. Like, you would rather have some red sources in your deck, I think. What would the rest of the deck look like? So we're definitely heavy green. So put every good green card in our deck, which is all of them. And then we're looking at black. This makes a treasure. Oops. Yeah, this is just looking like our black-green deck. So I guess if we get into a matchup where we really need the magic missiles, maybe we add those in. But I think what I'm gonna do is put together the green-black deck. Start with that. The creature qualities are really good. We're going to get extra value off of venturing with Varus. And then if we really, really need it, maybe there's a way for us to splash Magic Missile if we add like a mountain and some other stuff. But let's build our deck. Containment. We had both Demigorgons clutches in this deck. I don't know if that's... Oh, because it's kind of like pseudo removal. That's right. Magic missiles come out. Those stay in. That's in. That's in. That's in. That's in. Those are in. Beholder, Hill Giant, this. We have something... We have one too many cards. We took out one of the Prowlers. That's what it was. Okay. Yeah. Let's see how this goes. And we can tune the deck later. 9 sources. 6 black sources with Tiamat. 7, 8 sources with Tiamat. That's going to be our deck to start with. And we're going to see if we can splash Minimus Containment and Orcus off of our many, many treasures. And who knows, maybe, like, let's play a couple games and see if... Oh, you think the red-black look better, Patty Laddie? Just because of the magic missiles? Let's try this. And you know what? Maybe there is a world where we splash the magic missiles into this deck. And just try and play them off of multiple treasures. But let's see what we can get. Sealed is fun though. It's a little bit different without having all the lesson cards like in Strixhaven. That just made your like sealed decks feel really powerful. This is more like regular sealed. So let's see what we can do here. Welcome everyone who's just joining us. We are trying to get some wins in a Adventures in the Forgotten Realms sealed event. We are doing best of 3. We're doing the traditional. And great, we have our first opponent queued up here. Let's see how we can do. Opening hand coming in. The one thing about playing best of 3 that people don't maybe always realize is that your hand doesn't get smooth. So this looks great, by the way. Turn 1 Paladin, turn 2 Innkeeper, and we have a card that could be either splash color. This seems great. One thing is, like, if you play best of 1, I think the program draws you two hands and then gives you the one that has the best balance of lands and spells. Whereas in best of 3, they don't do that. Okay, Wizards class. I think we probably just play Prosperous Innkeeper. There is a world where you're just supposed to make treasure tokens with this, but because we have other stuff to do, I'm just going to attack with it. And we'll play Innkeeper. I'm going to save the Temple until we draw one of our splash cards, so we know which one to do. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So this turn, I think we probably want to make a treasure. So next turn we could play Owlbear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we would still have 1 treasure left over. That seems pretty good, right? So we're probably playing the tap land this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 have a treasure left over. Or we could just cast Owlbear next turn with this treasure. Yeah, so maybe we just attack. I'm going to play the Temple, and I'm most likely to want to play the white card we have. I'm most likely to want a removal spell. If we draw the removal spell, because we could take out Wizard's class, we could take out one of their good creatures. We have a very good creature start, and I want to be able to remove their creatures rather than just play Orcus. Like, these 4/4s are going to be pretty big anyway. Alright, well, we're going to save that until the opponent... Wow, double Wizard's class for the opponent. That's pretty cool. And this can make treasures anyway, so it didn't necessarily matter that much. Here I'm going to play Owlbear and attack with the 1/1. This is Menace. They have 1 creature. Seems good. And we drew the Minimus Containment. Now that they have double Wizard class, I don't know if it's as good, but like, if they level these up and one of their creatures gets +2/+2 counters every time they draw a card, that's going to be really bad for us. Yeah, I agree with you, Patty Laddie. The red-black did have more synergy. The green-black deck, I think the cards are individually more powerful, but the red-black, there was more synergy for sure. All right, so this is level 2. They're both level 2. What did our opponent do last turn? Oh, they drew 2 cards. I see. Well, that makes Demigorgon's clutches worse here. I feel like we're probably just attacking. And this is the problem. We don't have removal, so this is keeping some of our creatures back. But we can attack with the 4/4. We can attack with the 1/1 and play an Owlbear. At some point, if it gets hairy, we could actually make treasures to get the Death Touch ability off of this. We do have to be a little bit worried about the 2/1 flash creature, so just something to watch out for. Opponent with double Wizards class. And they are blocking. Not sure what that means. There isn't... There isn't really a sweeper, right? Except the Sphere of Annihilation, which can hit 4 drops. Yeah, I think we just play the second Owlbear. That was a weird block. I don't know if they just didn't want to take the damage, but like normally if I saw my opponent block like that with so much life, I would think that they were about to play a Wrath of God or something. It might be a Sphere of Annihilation. If they play Sphere of Annihilation, we'll play Minimus Containment on the Sphere. Oh, Grim Bounty. Yeah, that's fine. Now we really want to get up to Black Dragon mana. That is one of our removal spells as well. Charm Sleep? Okay. So 2 removal spells there. Grim Bounty. Charmed Sleep. They also have this Spike Field Trap, which I don't really want them to use on the dragon. Here, still on 4 cards, so using the clutches isn't that good. Although, we are kind of guaranteed to get 2 spells because they've been playing lands out. Well, not guaranteed. I guess they haven't been stuck on lands yet, and they drew a bunch. So I think we're just going to keep attacking them. And we'll play the Clattering Skeletons this turn. Keep gaining life. If something bad happens, we have Minimus Containment. We have other cards we can play. Prosperous Innkeeper gets us a treasure. We can also activate the Hive Tyrant. I want them to use the Spike Trap before I play Black Dragon, because this card could win the game for us. Ooh, Gelatinous Cube is good. That is something worth getting rid of before they're able to dissolve our creature. They don't have Spike Pit Trap mana up. 2 cards in hand. Cube is a bit annoying. I think I'm going to attack with just the Paladin and then play Innkeeper to get a 7th mana for Dragon. I do want to keep the pressure up. If they dissolve this, that's kind of okay. I would rather they didn't. Maybe that's a reason to attack with Shambling Ghast as well. If they block the Ghast, we get a treasure. We can play Dragon and kill Gelatinous Cube right away. You do also have to kind of be worried about a counter spell here, but and now we have 7 mana for Dragon. If they spend their entire turn dissolving the skeletons, that's okay. Oh, Hollow Storm Giants is nice. If they spend their entire turn dissolving, that's okay. Basilisk is fine. Problem is, we're going to play Dragon, kill the 4/3. They're going to use Spike Pit Trap. But we've attacked for 4. Next turn, we attack for another 4. They're down to 3. This can give Menace. So if they use their whole turn next turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If they use most of their turn next turn to crack this on Dragon, that's kind of okay, right? I think that's probably worth it. They also don't have Counterspell mana up. I don't know if they have the Counterspell in their deck, but why risk it? And now we're aggressive. Even if they kill our creatures, like this is a 3/3. Like we can actually win next turn. If all they do is kill a dragon, we can activate Hive of the Eye Tyrant and attack them. Okay, so 2 Grim Bounties. And a 4/5 Ward, which doesn't really matter to us because we don't have removal in our deck anyway. So that's kind of okay. I think we just attack them with our Menace creatures. Attack for 4 with Menace. Oh, we can use Clutches this turn to get rid of their last 2 cards. That seems good. So we'll start with that. It also deals 2 damage to them. Power of Persuasion, Scion, Contact Other Plane. So they do have the 2/1 flash. That's worth noting. So let's just... well, now we can't attack with that. That's okay, though. Attack for 1. Play Basilisk. And hope they don't draw anything amazing. Okay. Well, they can gain 2 life off of spawn. And their creatures are about to get bigger. That's okay. We're just going to activate Eye Tyrant, attack with everything. They take 4 Menace. They can block 2 things, and then they die. Seems good. Oh, down to 1. Okay, that's fine. We still have a 1/1 Menace. They have to play multiple things here. They can use this on the Paladin, but... Alright, first game down. Now, this is a match. Do we want to sideboard anything? We saw 2 Grim Bounties, a Gelatinous Cube, Charm Sleep, so they have quite a bit of removal. I don't think there's anything we can actually do about that. We didn't see a ton of creatures, just the 4/5. We saw a 2/3. And our creatures line up pretty well against that. Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with this matchup. We didn't see any flying. The 4/5 is a bit annoying. Like, we could throw a 3/5 in our deck that blocks better, but I think I would still rather have the card draw off Owlbear. We can always double block the 4/5. They didn't have a ton of creatures, so anything that gives menace is going to be good in this game. Yeah, I think this is going to be good. I was pretty happy with how the deck played out. We didn't have an insane... Thanks, Patty Laddie. We didn't have an insane amount of treasures, but we could have been making them, right? Like, we were chipping in for damage with Paladin, but we could have been making treasures, which does give us a little bit of help with the magic missile stuff. So if it ever comes up, the magic missile is going to be good. We might sub it in. I don't think it's good in this matchup. We didn't see a ton of cheap creatures, but you never know. And on to game 2. Yeah, 4 lands, a couple of 2-drops, and something to do later. Seems good to me. We even have a good blocker right away. Nice. 2-drop, 3-drop. I'm going to play the Basilisk first. Ooh, Vorpal Sword. We did not see that before. That might be a reason to put in that destroy target artifact card, because if they get enough mana to hit us with this, that's annoying. And it just makes all their creatures have Death Touch, which is really annoying as well. The Hexblade is a little bit more aggressive, but I think... We don't currently have anything that makes treasures. I might just run out the 2/2. If they're going to have a slow start again, I would rather deal the extra damage every turn. Yeah, that's totally fine. They do have the 2/1 that taps something. Yeah, that's fine. If they want to use that here, it's... not a big deal. I do want to play the wolf this turn, so we'll do that. I'll probably name white again off of Temple. They didn't have a ton of creatures that we would need to destroy with Orcus. Obviously, if we draw one of our splash cards, we'll do this, but yeah, this Vorpal Sword is quite good. I see that the stream, the chat is quite a bit behind us. Do I just take 4 from this? And we can deal 4 back, and we can block with this. Yeah. We're going to be able to deal quite a bit of damage with Prowler over the next couple turns. So, okay, well now we use this for white. And we're going to attack with a 4/4 here. Next turn, we can play Owlbear. This is huge. I'm going to probably leave the Hexblade back to block and trade with the Scion. We could just use Minimus Containment on Vorpal Sword if it's going to be a problem. Ooh, nat 20. Create a treasure. This turn, we're not going to attack. We'll just run out Owlbear. And we can. I don't mind trading Hexblade for Scion. If it becomes a problem, we can use Minimus Containment on Vorpal Sword. Yeah, it is. So, Patty Laddie, it seems further behind than normal, and I actually changed the latency to be lower. So I think it's probably just my computer isn't good enough to keep up. Yeah, this is fine. So that just tells me that it's not worth playing on lower latency. I'll just go back to normal for the next one. There's Grim Bounty number 1. So I'm glad we traded off there, because we are going to be a little bit behind. We didn't see anything crazy from their deck, but yeah, this card isn't scary right now. Like, we can just block and trade. So I'm going to pass here. If all they do is equip and attack, I'm fine trading off, and then we can use Minimus Containment on their next creature. Although, yeah, it is probably worth using on the sword. Look at the top 3, put 1 into your hand. That's going to be really annoying this game, now that the game's going long. Hopefully we draw some good spells to play. Ooh, Wizard's class is pretty good. It might even be worth using Minimus Containment on Wizard's class, because they're going to draw 2 spells, 2 cards, and then their creatures are going to start to get much, much bigger than ours. Now that we have Shambling Ghast, I'm actually going to attack with the Basilisk. Play Ghast. And we'll play Minimus Containment so they can't draw 2 off of this. If they want to tap out every turn to get 1, like, that's still really good for them, but I would rather they don't get the 2 right away, plus the extra value off Wizard's class. There comes the cube. Then they'll equip Vorpal Sword, attack for 4. That's pretty good. I mean, we can play anything in our deck. If we draw a Black Dragon here, that's pretty good. Otherwise, we're probably going to have a tough time winning. But Black Dragon would be a great top deck. Kill the cube, get the 1/1 back. Oh, okay, they're just going to dissolve it. That's fine. Okay, that's a little bit ouchy wouchy. I'll just pass. We'll block cube. It does... Well, maybe we're supposed to block Investigator because it's drawing them cards. I don't know if they're going to attack with both, but... Play out. Yeah, this isn't necessarily a game where Magic Missile would be that great. Yeah, this can be so much bigger, but this is drawing them cards. But we're kind of getting beat down anyway, right? And any 1-power creature can kill this, whereas this needs a 3-power creature. So I think I'll block the 4/3. Dragon? Well, land. Same thing as before. We're not gonna concede because our opponent might play cards that we want to know about. But well, that was rough. We definitely got a little bit flooded that game. Opponent with a nice deck. They've got a good amount of removal. I don't want to play too many more. Like, I would think about putting these 3/5s in, but I don't want to play too many more expensive cards because we'll just play this and then they'll play removal on it. Like, if anything, I would rather have some more threatening, cheaper cards. But we don't really have... Like, I guess Direwolf Prowler is threatening, so maybe we put that in and take out, like, Hexblade. A 2/2 in this game just doesn't seem that good. We'd rather have something that can threaten their life total a bit more. I would take out the Basilisk, but we kind of need the Death Touching for removal, so... Alright, deck. Let's see what we can do in Game 3. We've seen 2 Grim Bounties, a Charm Sleep. Oh! Were we supposed to put in the green card? Yeah, we were supposed to put in the green Destroy an Artifact or Enchantment. Especially because we saw Charm Sleep and we saw Vorpal Sword. So that was a mistake. Well, we're going to keep this. We could play white right away, 2-drop, 3-drop. Have Minimus Containment up. That's kind of nice. Yeah, sorry, we were definitely supposed to put in the green Destroy Target Enchantment or Artifact card. You can also create a treasure if you really need a treasure, which is nice. And let's see what they're going to open up with. Hall of Storm Giants is good. Okay, 2/2. Seems fine. I'm not going to block the Hexblade. If they want to trade here, that's kind of okay. Just try and clear the way for our bigger creatures. Dire Wolf Prowler can be pretty big. Clattering Skeletons is going to be big. This can attack into most 3-drops. Yeah, we can attack into that. And yeah, we're just going to try and use our bigger creatures to punch through damage before they can get all their removal online. The cube, again! That's okay, we can use Minimus Containment this time and get our thing back. Which is going to be worth it, I think, in the long run. We do ramp them a bit, we give them a treasure. Oh, that was an oops. My fault. Sorry about that. I've actually ran into that a couple times. Because Minimus Containment, it doesn't actually remove the card from play. We didn't get our card back. Now, if they use this treasure token, do we get the 4/3? I don't think so. Because Ooze loses all abilities, and the one ability it has is to return our thing to play. So that was a huge oopsie. I feel like if they use this treasure, we don't get our thing back. Oh, we do. Oh, awesome. So that is actually fine. Wow, okay. That's a weird interaction. Cube plus Minimus Containment. Here, if we attack, they can double block, but we kill both, and then we play Owlbear. That's probably okay. And again, we're just going to try and beat them down with our big creatures. They've just got these little guys right now. They used one Grim Bounty. Gelatinous Cube is really good. Card's very good. Oh, nice. So we can give our guys Menace, which they would have to double block anyway, so I don't think I want to do that right now. And this can destroy an enchantment. That's kind of nice. They would get a treasure if they blocked with this, which gets them to 6. I don't think that's that big of a deal. I'll just attack here. Try and smash into them. Even if they like single block each of them, I'm kind of okay with that. So I don't feel the need to play this to give my creatures Menace. Shocking Grasp. Okay. And then double block? And now we can play Manticore and kill both. That's kind of okay. So we lose Clattering Skeletons. We get to Venture. And we get to play Manticore and kill their 2/3. That's okay. Here I think we just take the Scry. I don't assume we're doing anything else in the dungeon this game. And getting rid of this land is totally worth it. And now we can play Manticore and kill Spawn. Okay, so they do have a counterspell. Well, that worked out well for them. But now we can play Baleful Beholder next turn, attack for 4. With Menace. And then we'll have a 6/5 and a 4/4 in play. We do have to be careful about this. Like, they can make a 7/7 for 6 mana. 2, 3, 4, 5. They're not quite there yet, but... Oh, and they even attacked there. That's kind of nice for us. Oh, but they have 2 cards left. Do we do the clutches thing? Probably. I think it's worth it. If you can get your opponent's last 2 cards, it's totally worth it. Oh, and they actually tapped this down. Well, now we're at a risk of dying to their superior creatures. Because ours got tapped down. That's not good for us. We'll just play Beholder. Give everything Menace. Yeah, I wasn't expecting the counter spell, but that actually ended up working out really well for them. They got to keep their thing. We don't have the 2/1. We did get rid of... We just got rid of Arcane Investigator, but we milled 2 really good cards, so happy to see those go away. Oh, boom. Okay, well, this is good. We can kill this. If they want to double block Owlbear, they lose their other 2. Yeah, that's really good for us. Watch them have another counterspell. Okay. Well, that's pretty good then. And now we can just smash in. They can double block Owlbear and kill it, and then we'll have 2 creatures left. One with flying. They could also just chump block. Oh, they're chumping both. Okay. Well, hopefully they don't draw something insane. Even Sphere of Annihilation doesn't work. I guess if they drew a land there, they could activate their 7/7, but we have the dragon to chump block. I should have thought about that. We do have the dragon to chump, but have to remember the lands. So, awesome. Well, we got a win. That's great. Super happy. Deck seems to be working pretty well. Like, we do have pretty strong creatures in our deck. Oh yeah, Black Dragon. That's our boy. That's gonna be one of our most powerful cards this whole sealed event. Just slamming this on 7, killing something, very good. I liked the switch from the Hired Hexblade to the Direwolf Prowler there. This one just hits much harder. We got an extra attack in with it and stuff. Threatening to activate this is good. We should have put the Cursed Idol in. It didn't end up mattering that game, but they had 2 Wizards classes, a Charm Sleep, and the Vorpal Sword, so that was a mistake. We should have put Cursed Idol in, but yeah, this deck seems to be working okay. It's obviously weak to bombs and stuff. We don't have a ton of removal, but we'll keep running it back. We have really good quality cards, so and yeah, we will play first. Oh boy, pack leader on 2, and we have the innkeeper to get us black mana if we really need it, and we're on the play. Whew. Yeah, Patty Lighty, I wasn't sure if you were talking about me being aggro or not. It's like, come on, I just chill, man. I'm just chill, playing some Magic, but this is definitely an aggressive start, though. Look at this. 3/3 on turn 2. Oh, boy. That card is insane. Ranger class is insane. We are definitely putting in the enchantment removal. And I'm glad we have the Beholder. Don't forget to let me know that we need to put the enchantment removal in our deck. Yeah, that's insane. Well, we're definitely smashing in. They're going to have a 3/3, but we're just going to try and out-creature quality them. And this is the 1-2 punch. This is why we're playing this deck. Pack leader into Varus. Like, those are our 2 really good rares. We got them back to back. We even had double green for it. This was like a perfect draw. I'm a little bit scared of this card. Like, Ranger's class is insane. You attack with a 3/3 on turn 3, and then you can just draw creatures from the top of your library. Super good. If they attack with a 3/3, we're not going to trade. Oh, they didn't actually do this. Okay. So they want to be able to block, I guess? This can be a 5/3 with trample. And we can draw an extra card off of it. Oh, we get pack tactics anyway. Well, I think... They can't spend the 2 mana to kill Varus if they have that, like, you heard something on watch card. But we also don't want to trade this off because it generates value over time. So I think what we should do is just play Skeletons and pass to their 2 open mana. I imagine they would have activated this if they didn't have that destroy an attacking creature card. So let's just chill for a minute, get some extra value. Do you think they're going to let us go through the Mad Mage, or should we just go for Phandelver? Do we just drown them in value? I'm going to do the Phandelver. Oh, Patty, you put the Ranger class in the Elf deck? Awesome. In your Simic Elf deck. Does 5 mana help? We can play Innkeeper plus Yuan-Ti. Yeah, that's kind of okay. Yeah, it gets us to Black Dragon as well. I just want to maximize how many times we trigger Varus. That's my plan right now. So next turn I want to play Forest, play Innkeeper, play Fangblade, get 1 trigger off of Ranger. Maybe that was a reason to bottom the Forest. But that also gets us closer to Black Dragon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with the treasure token. Okay, Minimus Containment, good to know. But now we can safely attack. So we're going to do this. And we could play Black Dragon a turn earlier. Nice. Let's go ahead and attack here. Draw a card off of Pack Leader. Oh boy. Our 1 removal spell. And then we're going to drop our 2 creatures. So I won't activate this ability. I'm going to play Innkeeper. Actually, maybe we don't play these. Oh yeah, 3. Yeah, 3 mana. That's right. For some reason, I thought it cost 4. And just remember, we do think that they have the deal 5 to an attacking creature. That's something that we're going to have to pay attention to. If we can keep them from activating Ranger's class, that might actually be really good. And I think we do put that green Cursed Idol card in our deck because we can get rid of Minimus to get our creatures back if we do that. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Come down, kill the wolf. Or are we just supposed to attack? Or are we supposed to play Grim Bounty on the 2/4? They have their 2 mana up again. So I don't really want to run this into a removal spell. So I might just attack with these 2. I'm kind of okay if either of these trades here. Actually, I guess I don't want the Yuan-Ti to trade for wolf. So are we supposed to play Black Dragon, kill the 2/2, attack with Yuan-Ti and Skeletons? And Werewolf Leader? I mean, I guess if they kill this, we still get the value by drawing the card, and then they use their removal spell here instead of here. Yeah, I think I want to do that. So I want to use this. Done. I want to kill their 2/2. And then I want to attack with these 3 and draw a card off of Pack Leader. And they can use their Destroy an Attacking Creature card on Pack Leader. Maybe they trade and take 4 and we have a 4/4. Okay, they're just going to block. That makes sense. Oh, it's the +3/+1. Okay, that's not what I thought they had. Here we have enough mana. We'll just make a 1/1. Okay, I did not expect the +1/+3. That's good to know. Oh, Reflections of Yara. Simic Elf Swarm. I'll have to check that one out. Okay, well, now they have quite a few creatures. So they were kind of holding their creatures back to try and get us with ambush, and they did. So good for them. Dragon attacks, Clattering Skeletons attacks and trades for Circle of the Moon Druid or Paladin. Yangti Fangbait attacks and trades for something. We can just use Grim Bounty so they can't gain life. And then Dragon becomes lethal. I guess Dragon was lethal anyway. I guess we didn't have to show them the Grim Bounty. That was a bit of a mistake. I was kind of distracted there. Okay, I think Cursed Idol is going to be good because they have Ranger class and they have Minimus Containment. And those are two enchantments that we do want to destroy. So that card's going to be good. They also have a bunch of 2/2s, 2/4s, and 2/3s. So again, I think the Direwolf Prowler is better than the Hexblade because it's going to be able to attack through their better creatures. Cursed Idol is going to be good. What's not good? We could always just take out a Clutches. Basilisk is fine. If they're the ones attacking us with like a souped up Ranger dog, Basilisk is going to be good. Innkeeper's nice for a splash still. Gas is just good utility. So I think we take out a Clutches. We're not milling Rangers class because they're always going to play it on 2 mana. And the point of Clutches is to mill their best cards. And their best card there was the Ranger class. We'll have to watch out for Ambushed on the Road and Minimus Containment. Again, Minimus Containment, not something that we're really going to end up milling. So I think I'm okay taking out one of the Clutches, and we'll run with this. And we have to look out for Ambushed on the Road, +1/+3, and Minimus Containment. And yeah, this is fine. It's a little bit slow. We do have a 3-drop. We have our 2 main colors. If they go turn 2 Rangers class and we don't draw a white source, we basically lose on the spot. But our opponent did mulligan to 6, so we'll see what happens here. Potion of Healing. I wonder if they have the Ropers in their deck. Potion of Healing's a little bit weird to play unless you have a card that really needs you to gain life. So I would look out for a 4/5 Roper. Kill their potion. That doesn't seem worth it. This player doggo, pass the turn. And this is why we put the extra dog in. If this was a 2/2, it couldn't attack, but as a potential 4/4, it can. So very happy to have that here. I would like another swamp. Oh, spoils. That's good to know. Spoils. Is it worth blocking to get a swamp to get Grim Bounty? And then Grim Bounty gives us another treasure token to play something else. Maybe not this turn. I don't really care about the Gloomstalker right now. If they play something really good, then we might trade, but this is going to be fine. We can smash in for 1, I guess. Play Skeletons. But yeah, if they play something really good, I'll leave this back to block, get a treasure token, and use that to cast Minimus Containment, I guess. Okay, Dancing Sword's good. So that's an equipment. That's another reason to have Cursed Idol. So that's good to know. And we can even do that at instant speed. Try and get them a little bit. So I don't mind trading off here. And if they block, we can kill the sword. Oh, this isn't an instant. Sorry. That's okay. I'm still okay with this. They might choose to keep it as an artifact. No, they want a 2/1. Black mana? Well, Innkeeper's not bad because it gets us a treasure, but I would rather just draw. Well, I guess the treasure can be used for minimus containment. So maybe we do keep that on top. And this is an artifact creature with ward 1, so we'll probably just fire off this right now. I don't want to get attacked for 2 every turn. And we have minimus containment in case they play like Rangers class or something, so let's destroy target artifact here. Yes. Dancing Sword is really good. It's really good as an equipment, and then like if you don't have any creatures, like our opponent didn't have any creatures, you just make a 2/1. Seems pretty good. We're probably not blocking with both of these. I'll just attack. If they want to use their mana to make this 3/3, that's kind of okay. We'll gain a little bit of life off of Innkeeper this game. Maybe we are supposed to leave this. Well, they attacked into the Shambling Gas. Like, it is probably worth it, especially if they don't have any other cards in hand. Or they just keep attacking until this thing dies, and then they start using their other resources. Like, that's probably fine, right? I don't really want to block because this is going to trade with it anyway. Because we have a double black card and a white card, I want to keep the treasure, so I'm just going to play the venture card. Gain a life. And attack. Happen on a Glade. Pretty good for them. That actually makes Cursed Idol worse a little bit, because when you kill something, they bring it back. But I think it's still worth doing. And this is an equipment. So, okay, well, we have our dragon. Are they going to do this onto this and attack us for 5? Are we just supposed to use minimus containment on the Dancing Sword? I kind of want to get to 7 mana, and the treasure's not really helping us do that. This doesn't kill their thing. So maybe we're just supposed to draw a card off of Owlbear. See what happens. We can also get a treasure token here, right? Yeah, we can get a treasure token from the mine if we attack. Okay, well, Varus is nice. Are they going to suit this up and then when it dies get a 2/1? Is that their plan? So are we just supposed to take 5? Probably not. I think I'm going to block with this so we can get the treasure token off of it. So I'm just going to attack with these two. I guess this can block, but I'd rather have this as an attacker. Oh yeah, didn't think of that. That's okay though. My mistake. I totally blanked on the Mimic there. This is just a 2/2, gain some life. Becomes a 3/3 at instant speed. Sure. Well, is now the time we use Grim Bounty? If they have that card that bounces it to their hand, That's kind of bad for us because then we don't get the treasure and we spend a treasure. So I assume we're just supposed to attack this turn. They can also have the 3/3, so just have to watch out for that. What's our next level? Is there a reason to use the Basilisk this turn? Doesn't look like it. Varus technically blocks Dancing Sword, although I assume if they attack with this, we don't block. Oh, Minimus Containment. Okay. Well, now we have more treasures for Black Dragon. That's kind of nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right on time. If they have +1, +3, or bounce, that's kind of okay. This isn't blocking anyway, so we might as well attack with our 1/1 first. And then bring out the big boy. Oh, that was really dumb. Wow. Well, it's still a 4/4. Yeah, that was really dumb. I apologize for that. Read the cards, right? But it's still a 4/4 flyer. They are going to have a hard time if they can't do something to kill this. +1, +3 doesn't kill this. Yeah, that was really dumb. Let's tighten it up a bit. Playing pretty loose right now. 4, 5, 6. There's a 3/1. Alright, well at least we drew Grim Bounty mana. I don't think there's a reason to do that right now. I think we just attack. We could give everything Menace. That's probably the best plan, right? And now Dragon is lethal if they don't have a flyer or a removal spell. So they can't necessarily attack. Baleful Beholder is lethal on its own. If they do nothing, we can Grim Bounty, probably the flyer. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder what they have in their deck that they want. Like, are they going to find Dancing Sword off of this? Oh, and here's a haste creature. That's kind of nice too. So we attack. They have to block Dragon. They can block. They can chump block Beholder. They take. They can chump block this. They take 2 and they lose all their creatures. That seems pretty good. Unless they have Guardian of Faith. That would be really annoying right now. Okay, awesome. Well, that was sloppy. I apologize for that. We definitely misplayed a couple times. Targeting Dancing Sword with Black Dragon and not being able to pay the ward cost was super rough. It ended up working out because Black Dragon was enough of a threat, but that, yeah, that was embarrassing. Anyway, got the W, so that's kind of nice. And we are going to be moving on into the next round. I'm just going to step away for 30 seconds and grab some water, and I'll be back. Sorry if everybody was listening to me chomp on carrots. That's super unattractive. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump back in here. This hand's okay. We have Prosperous Innkeeper on 2, which can get us one of our other colors. We have another 2-drop. I think this is going to be fine. And hey, if we draw any other land, we get one of our best cards, Varus. So happy to run this out. There is even a world where we play Varus off the treasure token, because we have Underdark Basilisk to venture with, but now we're just gonna play Varus, and I don't think there's any reason not to attack here. And this is great. Now it's just Value Town. Every time we play a creature, we get to venture, and we are doing the forests thing. See, having this treasure opens up the rest of our hand, but only for one card, whereas playing Owlbear lets us draw a card and do the venture thing. So I think I'm actually going to play Owlbear here. I'm going to do it before combat, just in case there's something funky that happens and Varus dies. I want the extra venture. And I think we're probably on the Scry train here. We can get a treasure token from this. Hey, there's a black source. That's great. We can get a treasure from this later on as well. Smash in. And see what our opponent is up to. Well, we're definitely going to play our black source. Same thing, we're going to play the creature before combat, just in case something weird happens here. And I'm going to get a treasure token. We do have Orcus, which we can technically play now. We gain a bit of life. This deck is bonkers when it works out. I mean, it's also nice when the opponent doesn't do anything for the first 4 turns of the game. Okay, Owlbear. Now they block here, they take 3, 4, 5. They block here, they take 4, 5, 6. Go to 1. We probably just play the Grim Bounty. I guess we can also activate Tyrant. And then they lose. Let's just do that. That way we don't have to show them the Grim Bounty. That's super unfortunate for the opponent, but hey, that happens to everyone. Sometimes you just gotta embrace when it happens to your opponent. We didn't see anything from their deck except the Owlbear, which is like a beefy card. We have 2 4/4s. We have the Clattering Skeletons that can attack into it. My thought is that this can attack into it. My thought is maybe we want the other Prowler to be able to attack or block the Owlbear. I don't know if Hired Hexblade is going to be good enough. The opponent played green-black without any 2-drops. So maybe Hexblade, again, is what comes out and we put in the Prowler. Again, we're just doing guesswork because we didn't see anything, but maybe this will be good enough. Yeah, this is not going to be a good start. I would rather mulligan here. And we can play Varus off of the treasure token. I would rather keep this than this. So we're going to get rid of the clutches. It's just the best upside. Well, seeing Dungeon Crawler makes me want the 2/2 Hexblade back. Although, I mean, technically the 4/4 blocks this better than the 2/2, so maybe I don't want that. This is nice. We're going to get Varus on 3 again, which is just super good. Like, that's kind of nasty. If they can't deal with it, we get to venture. It's going to be good. Okay, opponent with their own wolves. No attacks. We'll just play Varus and pass. And we have the containment off the treasure now as well, which is nice. Opponent ramping up, finding the path. And if they attack, this is going to be a 4-4, or could be a 4-4, so we don't want to block. They might just make it a 4-4 anyway and deal 4 damage to us. We are definitely playing skeletons on our turn. Get the Venture off of Silvery Moon. Something to attack into Prowler. Or block it, potentially. And we do have to be careful about our life total getting too low. Huh. I was going to say we could play both of these, but this only triggers once every turn, so I would rather play the bigger creature here. Get the Venture. We're going to do Scry again. Basilisk is good because it can trigger Silvery Moon Ranger and it can block Prowler nicely. And now we just attack. And yeah, welcome anyone who's just joining us. We're playing some sealed. We have a pretty sweet black-green deck. It's a little bit light on the removal, but it has really good creatures in it. Silvery Moon Ranger being one of them. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go to attacks with the skeletons, and they can choose if they want to double block, single block, or take 4. And then based on what they do, we'll decide what we're going to do. Okay. Based on that, I'm just going to run out Basilisk and Shambling Ghast. We kind of lose the extra value off a Ranger, but I don't think having a 2-2 here is really going to be that big of a deal. And I'd rather have the Basilisk to block their Prowler. And here I'll just do a Treasure Token. We have good splash colors in our deck. We don't really need the 1-1 that badly. And then I'll end the turn. Set up the defenses. They can't take too many hits from Clattering Skeletons. Eventually they're going to block. Oh, wow, okay. So they're giving everything Menace. That's something worth writing down. 6/5 Beholder Menace. They're only attacking with the one... Oh, no, they're attacking with everything. I think you kind of have to attack with everything there. They can't pump this up, nor this. So we can actually do decent blocks here, I think. We can double block Herald with these two, and then when this dies, we can kill the 2-1. We could also double block Prowler. Do we really want to double block with Prosperous Innkeeper, though? It's gaining us life. We can use Minimus here and attack. Yeah, I think we just want to keep as many creatures as we can. So we'll just do these 2 blocks. They can assign all the damage to Basilisk, so Shambling Ghast doesn't die. But this is kind of okay. And we'll just kill their 2-1. If we had like a big card in our hand, like a Black Dragon, we would get the treasure, but we don't need it here. And now we can play Prowler and Containment on this, attack for 8, and all they have left is this. Target creature gets -4, -0 till end of turn. No, we're just gonna kill their creature, so we'll gain a life, get them to lose a life. Play Containment here. Smash in. And now Prowler's lethal, Skeletons is lethal, and these together are lethal. So the opponent needs to kill 2 things this turn. Oh, Vorpal Sword is good. They could equip it, but that's Not going to be enough this turn. That is scary, though. Oh, another Beholder. Okay, wow. We don't have any enchantments for them to destroy. They block these two things and they lose. We can just give all of our creatures menace. And we complete a dungeon, get a 2/2. That's insane. This deck is crazy. What a crazy deck. I am super glad we decided to go with the green. I know we were kind of trying to pick between green, black, and the red, black. And the red, black seem to have more internal synergies. But the actual card quality in this green, black deck is way higher. And that, like, Varus. I mean, these are the only games we've drawn it, but our opponent was definitely mana flooded the first game. But this card is insane. Like, even if, like, it's 3 mana, 3/3 with a reach and ward. Even if nothing else happens, they have to spend a real removal spell to kill it. And if they don't, just run away with the game. So this is the deck for anyone who's just joining us. We're going to go into our last match here, or potentially last match. Currently 3-0, and yeah, hoping to keep it going. Nice black dragon on the top. Beholder's been good. Owlbears are good. Haven't played Orcus yet, but Varus and Werewolf pack leader were really good. So splashing for the containment off of treasure tokens. And let's jump into, what could be our last match, or it could be one of our next 3 last matches, depending how things go. Hope everyone's having a nice day. All right, here we go. That is the one thing about sealed. Sometimes the matchmaking takes a while because more people play draft, I think, than sealed. Mostly because the sealed prizes suck. Ooh. Ooh. What do we do? This card's really good on turn 2, but then we can't play anything else from our hand. Any black mana gets us these, which aren't even really that good. Oh, man. They're going first. We get an extra draw. Like, is it worth it just to play a great 2-drop and then lose the game? Our deck is really good. This might just be too risky. Like, even if we draw black mana, this is awful. We can't play Grim Bounty. I think we have to mulligan, which is super sad. Well, mulliganing into a no-lander kind of sucks, so... Oh, man. Well, oh, boy, this is awful. But we can use the Forsworn Paladin if we draw a land to make a treasure, to make this. If we don't draw a land, we're going to lose anyway. So, we want the 1-drop, the land. We want Prosperous Innkeeper. I think we're going to have to get rid of our big cards here. We'd probably rather draw Orcus. So that's That's really sad. Our deck is so good, but that's the risk we ran. I don't think it would have been much better with the 7, but you never know. Especially against an aggressive deck. And here, I think we have to make a treasure while we can. There is some thought to playing Prosperous Innkeeper so that next turn we can play Silvery Moon Ranger off the treasure. But if they kill this, that's bad for us. And we do want to get some treasures and stuff in play, so... Are we just supposed to play this? Next turn we can play a 3-drop. I guess we can do that whenever. Let's just play Innkeeper and pass the turn. I don't want to get got by the, like, deal 5 damage to attacking creature thing. And if we draw a land, we could technically play Grim Bounty on a good creature this turn. Okay, opponent's ramping up. Forest? Nice. Oh, that was the best draw. Now we can attack with both of these and play Varus this turn. Yeah. Well, our deck is delivering, and that was sort of the point of mulliganing. Our deck is super powerful if it gets a good draw. I don't think 2 Forest, Werewolf, and then a bunch of cards that we couldn't play was going to do it for us. This is a way better draw. Even though we're 2 cards back, I think it's going well. I don't think we use Grim Bounty on Dungeoneer. I think there are better cards that our opponents could play. Like, we're probably better off playing Pack Leader and making a treasure with this, right? We're definitely not attacking. Let's do the Scry. And yeah, any creature's good at this point because creatures trigger Silvery Moon. So I'm gonna just pass the turn here. If they want to attack, I'll take 3, and then next turn we get Pack Tactics, draw a card. It seems really good for us. So we're gonna be a little bit patient this game. Ooh, nice card. I'm glad we saved the Grim Bounty. Eliwick is really good. Venture on demand or draw a creature from your deck. Really good card. We're gonna have to kill that. That card can just run away with the game. Because there's no way we can kill this, right? What if we use Grim Bounty here? Attack with our 6s against this. Attack with everything. It takes this. Then we get to venture again, and we could get them with our haster. Maybe we are supposed to kill the 3/4 and just get really aggressive this turn. This can also give something Death Touch. I don't know what's better, because if we kill this, we aren't really attacking. And our deck wants to be attacking right now, so let's do this. And do we just attack them directly so they don't get all the value? Try and kill them as fast as we can. Maybe that's better. Not with this. Like, it doesn't matter if they venture that much if they can't play anything else. then we just draw cards off of pack tactics every turn. I guess they can draw creatures from this, but we can even pack tactics this next turn. Well, they definitely have enough creatures. Well, we're pretty far from this. They have 2 cards left. I think this is a turn you use Demigorgon's Clutches. If they triple block one of these, they can kill it. Which is kind of annoying. They probably triple block this, take 3. That's not good for us. This is going to get them so much value, though. Our next thing is a treasure. Are we supposed to attack? They triple block, they kill this. We kill these 2 creatures, and we still have this in play, which is a good threat. And then we get rid of their last 2 cards. That might be... That still might be good enough, right? Although we could use the treasure token. I don't know if it's worth throwing away Varus here. And they can just replace their creatures. I'm going to do this and see if they want to triple block this. That's fine. That makes our attacks next turn better. We can make them discard their last 2 cards, which were White Dragon and Delver's Torch. Bunch of 1/1s in their deck. 1/3. Alright, well, we're slowly building our way up. Now they don't have the triple block on Varus unless they have a card in their hand. This is going to have haste, so I think we definitely play this. And we're going to get the treasure token because we want to have mana for Black Dragon. We're going to gain a life. We're going to activate this. And I don't even think we attack with Varus, really, right? Like, we just draw the card here. If they have something that pumps up their stuff, well, no, I think it's worth it. We'll just be as aggressive as we can. They can't take too many hits like this. This is going to give all their creatures +2/+2 and trample, but they're not that close to killing us. And if these are 3/3s, I mean, our creatures are still bigger than theirs. They're down to 3 now. And if we draw a land, we can Black Dragon one of their blockers. Yeah, I mean, that is hard. Like, their stuff is huge, but... Okay, Triumphant Adventurer. That's kind of an interesting splash. And they have enough blockers now to be annoying. And we drew a land. So what do? We're going to be attacking with 1... This is going to be a 2/2, though. And this has Trample, Haste, Death Touch, First Strike. This one has Flying. This one is whatever. We're going to attack with these 2 for sure. And if they block them both... We're going to be attacking with everything. Do we just get rid of the Flyer, which makes Dragon lethal next turn? Death Touch, eh? Doesn't really matter that much right now. What does this do? +1/+1 counter? So we probably put a counter on Varus, right? So we probably do want to kill the Death Toucher. Oh, we can't do that. We do this. Does that make everything lethal this turn? We kill something, they block there. Yeah, that makes it lethal. Let's do this. Kill the flyer. Attack with everything. Draw a card. Okay, right on. Yeah, our deck is quite aggressive, actually. We can get some crazy amounts of creatures out. Triumphant Adventure is an interesting one. It's kind of a weird splash, because you really want to play this card on turn 2, but, I mean, it is a Death Touch card that has first strike and can do dungeon stuff, so... cards I wrote down were like Eliwick, which we want to be able to kill. Delver's Torch is interesting, but not really worth putting that artifact removal card in our deck. White Dragon is worth writing down. This is a 3/4, which means we want more 4/4 cards. But they also had enough, like... Well, I guess this is a 1/3. It blocks pretty well. So again, maybe, again, we take out Hired Hexblade and put in the Wolf. It is weird to, like, always be sideboarding this in. Like, Travis, why don't you just main deck it? But I think it is worth having the 2/2 when you don't know what your opponent's deck's going to do. Against a super aggro deck, I would rather have the 2/2 in it. And I don't think there's anything else here that we really need. They didn't have any, crazy artifacts or enchantments. So I think we're going to run with this again and see what we can do. Eliwick is crazy. I think the only reason that that card didn't run away with their game was because we were being aggressive enough. And we had really good creatures, so... something to watch out for, though. Here's 2 mana. We can't play the Pack Leader right away. This hand seems kind of slow, right? Like, we draw... If we don't draw a Forest, we're doing nothing unless we draw 2 cards. We do have this for the Planeswalker, and their deck wasn't insanely fast. It's a lot of 1/1s and 1/3s, so I'm going to keep it. I think this is kind of risky. And that is the downside of having cards like this that are double green, is like you can't play your 2-drop on turn 2. I mean, we can because we're awesome. And we drew the other Forest, but if we hadn't, this hand is kind of sketchy. Even with this, I mean, if we play this turn 2 and they kill it right away, at least we can get to Skeletons if we draw another land, any other land. So I think it's right to keep this hand. It's just kind of weird. And here's the 1/3. So that's a reason why having a 2/2 in our deck is just awful, and we took it out. Because we're trying to be aggressive, and they have a good defensive creature there. And they have a Roper. Nice. 3 mana 4/5. Definitely better than 2 mana 3/3. So they have the Roper. This is coming into play tapped. Do we have a turn 3 play? Not really. I don't want to use clutches right away. We can't attack. So I'll just play this as a tap land and pass the turn. They're going to get a hit in with Roper, and if they can gain life at all, that's going to be kind of rough for us. Oh, and they're ramping up a bit. Well, that's good. Next turn, we're going to play a 4/3. And if they want to attack with Roper, that's fine. We might be able to start drawing cards. I'm not going to block that. I don't mind taking 1, and, like, who knows what they have, but I would rather keep the 3/3 around. It might have been a bluff, but... Yeah, that's good. You can only do that once, though. If they attack with both of these... I mean, they already threatened a pump spell last game, or last round. I think we just trade 1 for 1 with Dungeoneer. If they want to use their spell to save this, that's fine. Or do we just eat their 1/3 and take 7? Ugh, what are we doing next turn? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana? getting 2 cards out of their hand. This also trades 1-for-1 with this. Maybe we're supposed to trade there. I don't know. Maybe I'll just eat this. We can attack, get a card. It's kind of tough to say. I don't want to trade yet. We could just do this. See if they want to use their pump spell. Boule, 3/3. Oh, well, maybe that's why they were attacking with this. They were just trying to pump this up. That kind of makes sense. Kinda. And now we definitely need to block. If they don't gain life, they have a 3/4 and a 4/4. Skeletons trades for this, and these two trade. They have a 4/5 that doesn't always untap, and we have a Hillgorger next turn. That's kind of okay. I think I'll probably just pass the turn. I might trade off my creatures here for theirs. They can also make this Hydra thing. We could also make a 3/3 from our land, but I don't really want them to kill the land. Okay, well, that's a pretty easy block, I think. Their thing's going to be a 5/5, but we're going to have a 7/6 and we'll gain 3 life. We also get to scry here. Yeah, Owlbear's nice. It's a good sized creature. It's going to draw us a land, or draw us a card. All right, well, opponent's setting up the big turn. We'll just drop this. We could get rid of their last 2 cards, but we don't have another 3-drop to play and then we lose, so we'll just play the 7/6 here. Gain 3 life, no attacks. This blocks this, this blocks this. If they gain life here, we're going to be in trouble a little bit, but... Okay, Celestial Unicorn. And if they have 2 cards left over on our turn, we'll definitely use the clutches now. So they're just trying to grow their boulette. So they might get us with some kind of combat trick, but Dwarf Champion. Oh, that was kind of a bad attack then, because now this still trades here. Ooh. Orcus, we're never gonna get to cast this card unless we get a treasure token somewhere. Are we supposed to get rid of their last card with clutches? Are we supposed to play Owlbear? It's kind of tough to say. The way the game is right now, we don't want them to gain life. But is this a life gain card? They're going to attack with their creatures, maybe? Maybe it's better just to get rid of their last card. Like, the board's kind of stalled. If they gain life next turn, we eat the Roper, take 6, block there, take 9. Maybe we're just supposed to play this. I don't know. I think we'll just try and get their last card out of their hand. Oh, it was a 1/1 bird. Oh, that's so bad. That feels awful. I wish we had played Owlbear instead, but you don't have perfect information. Actually, I forgot about the Hydra, so maybe we needed more creatures in play, but if they keep sending their creatures into slaughter, I'll keep blocking. Eventually, we can just use Minimus Containment on the Bouletta. Like, this still trades. That's fine, right? Draw a card off Owlbear. Eventually, we're going to have Black Dragon as well, which is going to be good. Oh, second clutches doesn't seem good. And actually, based on how many creatures and cheap creatures they have in their deck, I might take one of these clutches out. Do we attack for 7? No, we're still at pretty low life. I think we just have to be a little bit patient. We could attack. They could potentially trade. And then when they attack us back, the 4/4 eats the 3/1. 1/1 blocks the 7/7. We get a treasure token, play Black Dragon on nothing. And they still have a 7/7. Or the treasure from Minimus Containment. I think we just need the blocker. I don't think dealing 7 to them is that big a deal. Eventually we're going to play like Dragon or Orcus or something. Actually, getting the token... Does this do anything? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with the token. We can give -3/-3 to everything. No, that's worse for us. Here we're going to play Dragon and get rid of the Adventurer, the first striking Death Toucher, because we're at such a low life. No cards in hand. Yeah. And then we can start chipping in the air if they don't do anything. Now do we attack? This is probably a safe attack this turn. Start putting pressure on them. They can trade if they want. If they don't, they take 7, and that gives us a better clock on Black Dragon. Jump blocker? I should have attacked before we played the Black Dragon, but... Okay, well, there's their great Planeswalker, which is going to give them a ton of value. We do really want to kill that. If they attack here, we'll use Shambling Ghast. Yeah, that's actually great for us. So now we get the treasure. We can get rid of Eliwick. That's really good. I don't care about an 8/8. I'll just keep blocking them. We can also activate this Hive Tyrant Mine thing. Hive thing. And if they attack us, we can attack them back pretty hard. So I'm not going to worry about that. Actually, hold on. Hold the phone. We get rid of this. We attack for 7, 11, 15, 16. Oh, that was almost an awful mistake. We just have lethal here. Yeah. All right. Well, we almost screwed up at the end there, but lethal. And our deck is sweet. I really enjoyed how this deck came together. We had some really lucky games, like, let's be honest. And drawing our second forest to be able to play Werewolf this game was like pretty sweet. And we had all the mana we needed after some sketchy keeps. We had a Moldify that worked out well for us. So we had some lucky games, but all in all, I think the higher power level deck was the good choice. Even though the red-black looked a little bit more synergistic.